Mic check 1 2 1 2. 2024. It's our first recording of the year, but not our first episode of the year, right?
Yes. No, it's our second recording because we did that New Year. The last one was done in New Year.
Was it on New Year? Was it done on the 31st?
We did it after crossover now. Now you forgotten. 1 a.m.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
All
That's
bangers were
true.
going
So
off.
this is our the fireworks were going off. It was crazy. It was like Syria here, man. But we thank God. We've made it. We made it into. If you made it into 2024, you're obviously listening to this, and you need to be grateful. I know some of you are not bound by calendars and time. I get it. But for those who are, please be grateful. For those who did crossover in the church, for those who did crossover in the club, for those who did crossover in their houses, on top of something or underneath, hey,
Yeah.
I wanna say happy 2024 and happy New Year to you guys. It's good to have you guys listening to us like nothing changed. You are welcome to the Loose Talk podcast. My name is Osagie Zalunge,
My name is Ayomide AOT2.
and we have Steve, the lead researcher, Dede, in the building. Yeah, and in just carrying over 2023 fashion, he has his mic muted and
For
he
some
has no
reason,
idea.
I don't know why.
This is very on brand.
After doing
Your mic
production,
is
we did
muted.
production meeting for many hours.
I'm not talking. I'm not actually talking.
You know
We
me.
did a
I'm not
whole
actually talking. I'm just laughing.
They know me.
production.
Your mic was off.
I'm not talking. I was not saying anything. I was just laughing.
One of the points in the production meeting for 2024 was quality, right, and attentiveness. Another quality was attentiveness. And
I was
guess
being
what?
attentive. I was being attentive. Now I wasn't introducing myself. I said,
Go explain.
when was the last time I
explain.
introduced myself on the podcast?
You go explain. No,
Okay, you know what? 2024. You want me to start introducing myself? You want me to have a new energy for the podcast,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the lead researcher of the Loose Talk podcast. Welcome to a very, very exciting episode of your favorite podcast. We're so happy to have you here.
That's so empty.
Are you happy?
That's
Are
so
you happy
empty,
now?
man.
You guys sounds like Sydney Shocker's sidekick.
Shout out to Sidney Shocker. I'm sure he did better than this.
No, that's why I said his sidekick, not Sydney
Okay.
Shocker, of course. Shout out to Sydney Shocker now.
It's fine.
Yeah, and quick shout out to Andy Bello as well, man. Quick shout out to Andy Bello.
Yeah.
South
Yeah.
Music Award, SSMA.
Yeah, shout out to Andy Bello. I remember one time, and this is just stories, right? I remember one time it was 2020. It was 2011 actually. Yeah, 2011 or 2012 South Music Awards. As you had the Headies, you had the Mamas, you had the SMVAs. You also had South Music Awards, and it was a big deal. And Andy Bello was the convener, and he put a lot of effort and a lot of work into making it work. Just imagine like transporting a handful of the entertainment industry down to Benin or to the south of Nigeria to host like an award show. And it used to be a big deal. And they used to take it, how will I put it? It used to be so interesting because you hardly would see those entertainers in town, at that period of time and all that. So he used to run it. And I remember attending one episode, very, very interesting, was in Benin. I got robbed.
Very on brand.
Yeah, I got
Very on
robbed.
brand for Benin.
Will you keep quiet?
Are you from Benin?
Will you keep quiet? It's not on brand. It's not on brand.
Okay.
I got robbed outside the venue. Thank God my phone didn't get. I didn't lose my phone, or my phone didn't get stolen. But yeah, I got robbed of my money. So we flew. It was very interesting. I think Vector, Ilbliss, Modena, a lot of people. It was very, very interesting. And as someone who had just transitioned from dabbling into music to media and journalism, I was on like the other side curating the whole thing. And I remember we touching down. I think this is my first time I flew to Benin. I'd always like gone on road trips. This was the first time I actually took a plane to Benin. And yeah, it was mad fun. It was a one-way ticket to Benin, So, I already had an idea of what was going on, right? And you know how these things happen now. Oh, we'll fly you guys here. When we saw it, I will fly you guys back.
Yeah,
Vector was there, everybody. Plane was filled. I think Harry's song, it was filled up. And as a sharp guy, I saw the one-way ticket and I saw that everybody's plane was one-way tickets. And I know what really happens after you like do an award show.
you're on your
Because
own.
I went to uni. I know how these things work. I've been an entertainer, right? So the show was nice. It was a fantastic show. They killed it. Like, the performances were great. Everything was fantastic. Got home, got back to the hotel, woke up very early, like 4 a.m. So I remember I didn't have money in my wallet. This is like 2011. I didn't even know where I couldn't get an ATM in the morning. I don't know. So I was broke, like I didn't have money. So I remember talking to Ilbliss and I hit Ilbliss up and I told Illy, I said, man, I need some money to get back to Lagos. And he just put his hand, got me like wad of cash and just gave me the money, right? Said. So they're like, why are you traveling to Lagos? We should be good. It's like, hey man, the event happened on Sunday, right?
Yeah,
I got work on Monday. Like, do you understand? My boss is not going to,
yeah. No sir,
you
man.
know, it's the net NG days now. You're not on your seat on Monday morning. So who send me go?
Mhm.
Even though I went to cover, but hey, it is what it is, right? So I wanted to leave early. I didn't want to waste time. So I'm like, hey man, I need to head out, bro. By 5 o'clock, I was on a bus to Lagos.
Sharp, sharp.
I was on a bus to Lagos. I didn't even want to hear they will breakfast or they will fly. They will get us. By 9. So this is I think I'm already on Ore Road, Benin Ore Road, right? Heading back. Terry to the flew Terry. So Terry's hitting me up. I remember I was part of Terry's like crew, right?
Mm.
So Terry's hit me up like Sags, where you have. I'm like,
Oh God, I
boss.
don't see Lagos like this.
And it's like, what? I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I'm half past out of here. So boom, get to Lagos like was like 9, like 10, 9, 10. I'm settled in my seats. I already wrote the story, published the story. Let me see if I can find that story. Published the story, and boom, boom, boom. So by the time I'm calling them, they haven't even booked their flights yet back, and all that. I had no idea what was going on. Anyways, man, it was nice, just to think about it. I think it was 2011. Yeah, 2011. And I wish, as a reporter, I loved, going on those road trips. I loved traveling. I loved, getting out of the office to write stories. I think
That was
digital
the best thing about our
journalism,
jobs at that time.
yeah, I think digital journalism just kind of,
Yeah.
You phone from home now. You phone you home. Watch out.
It's not
Stream it.
it's not
Stream
digital
it.
journalism because you say the New York Times still does digital journalism. You say
Steve. Steve.
it's just the type of
Steve.
yeah.
What I talk
It's
about?
not digital journalism.
What,
Digital journalism
yeah, Steve. I want to just make
it's
a.
not the
I just
crux.
want to correct you, sir. When you're talking about journalism, don't put New York Times there. There's journalism and there's New York Times. There are two different institutions. New York Times is way different from journalism. I beg.
Okay,
Yeah.
so should I start mentioning other people? We
Yes.
have Reuters, we have AMD,
Uh,
we have the Guardian,
right, those people. Yes.
we have come on, we have the cable. Like we have a journalist just recently did an investigation that changed that like really shook the whole country in education, right?
Oh yeah,
Where
yeah, yeah. Shout out to
federal
that guy.
government has now banned. Yeah, so people are still traveling, people are still doing stuff. So I think we just have to like differentiate between media houses and like content houses. Like they're different things,
Yeah,
like,
true
right?
that.
So like media houses will still travel. I have friends in the cable; they travel a lot. Kolakbo is the editor there, so like he's always
shout out to
traveling.
No,
Kalako.
Kolakpo
Yeah.
doesn't stay in this
He's
country.
yeah.
So that would be
Galapagos, like he's always traveling. Like that's the essence of journalism to just really go out there and experience stuff. Staying in one place and just creating content is not journalism. It's just content creation. We should understand the difference and shout out to everybody doing the work. Everybody's still doing the work, but there's still a difference, between the model of operation of like media houses.
yeah, that's true, sir.
Yeah.
Shout out to the real ones that are still around.
Yep. Shout out to everybody, even the unreal ones.
Well, yeah, I think you're right, Steve, and Ayo's right as well. I think we need to split what we actually call journalism, like who actually does what, right?
Yeah.
So people are still doing it. And this tallies back to the conversation Steve and I were having in the group chat when we were talking about, Steve was asking, like, who's doing this story in what's going on in Plateau State? And why don't we have enough stories detailing what is happening? And, my own feedback was that, how many media houses are funded well enough to go there and cover those stories the way we want those stories covered? We're facing two issues in Nigeria, and this is just one, but now it's two, right? Well, the first is the financial pressure, second is political pressure. Like, how much of independent, or not independent, but unbiased media reporting can happen right now in Nigeria across all the media houses, right? So the terrestrial platforms and even the new age platforms, and even calling platforms like the cable and premium times new age is even, it's not proper anymore, because they are no more new age. They're almost like legacy,
Yeah.
right? So they're just digital legacy platforms. And how well are funded are these? Like, how many journalists have life insurance? That, okay, something happens to you in the line of duty, there's some, you know there's life insurance that covers everything for your family for the next 20-30 years. So that's my problem. I think everybody's just playing it safe, and by playing it safe, it means that you can't really dig deep into the stories that you want to tell.
It's good that you mentioned political pressure, because I wanted to mention NTA earlier, because I think NTA is like the biggest example of, if any media outlet is meant to cover that kind of story, all the way in Plateau, it should be NTA. But when you now add political pressure, like, okay, I get it, because at the end of the day, they're not like a BBC that's independent, or a VOA and all that stuff. They're not that really they're not that independent, so to speak. So yeah.
I think also my problem with the Plateau State issue is that there's not even a semblance of, there's not even that material, that journalistic material to say this is what is really happening. Like, we've had what we have now is, some kind of like propaganda from both sides, right? I don't know which is true. Is it the Fulani people who are really killing these people to grab their lands, or is it just a power for the natural resources there, or just is this sort of communal, like, communal clash between people there, people close to each other? So I really need a piece to say, a credible piece to say this is, like, we have these things for Palestine and Hamas, like for Palestine and Israel, like,
Just
no
give
matter
me
how,
the background. Give me an
just
explainer.
give me an explainer.
Like the way Vox
So you
Yeah,
don't
like
even,
what Vox
just give me an
does.
explainer so that I will understand this is what is causing. It can't listen. It can't be that complex that we don't know the source of something that's happening. Something that is claiming 200 lives in Nigeria.
I
It's
understand what you mean.
pretentious to say. Like, yeah,
As
it's
in, so
impossible
you're saying even before you start to get into the
into
nitty
going to
gritty of each
what
each attack that
Attack.
happens,
attack.
right?
Yeah,
Is there one source of truth where I can go to and
exactly.
understand?
What
You
is
know,
it that is happening? Exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
which is what Vox does, right? Vox will do
Thank you.
explainers
Vox does
on
this
Syria,
exactly, or Syria,
explainers on, yeah,
Israel, Hamas,
yeah,
like stuff like that. Yeah, just
yeah,
give me that.
yeah,
Just let me just know what's happening, and from
yeah,
there, I can say, okay, I'll have an informed view to believe any of the propaganda, because there's propaganda everywhere. Even the Israel and the Palestine war, there's propaganda. But
yeah.
because you have some sort of credible materials, right? You can use those materials to say, oh, this is where I'm leaning towards. This is what I believe. This is what I think. I don't even know what to think of this whole situation.
Yeah, the whole story
Yeah,
just feels
it's
lumped up.
very abstract. You can't put your hand on anything. You don't know the characters involved. You don't know how many people are involved, right?
Yeah.
You don't. So when you don't know these things, you don't know if it is politically motivated, or motivated by
Ethically, yeah.
ethnicity, or if it's motivated by religion. Like, it
Yeah.
all seems, like a blur. Yeah.
Yeah. And you another reason why I need something like a credible house, like a credible media house. I need the media to grab hold of this. I don't want a situation where a very dark man, is trending on Twitter and people are hailing him for going there to say something. Do you understand? Because you don't know what's motivating him. So I can't look at him I'm scared of we looking at someone like that to say you are the credible person to go there and talk and speak about this. Do you understand? Because
That's where we are.
a single
Yeah,
entity is so easy to influence, and
yeah.
it's
That's
scary
that's
for
where
me.
we are.
Yeah, that's where we are, and it's scary.
Yeah,
I woke up in the morning, I saw
because
him trending. He was
voids need to
gathering
be
all on
filled.
the floor, something that's not supposed to be there. That's not, you can't find those things there. That's not a natural habit. Like someone just poured
Oh
it and
yeah,
just, yeah, like it doesn't
yeah,
make
yeah.
sense to me.
He just picked it up on the
He just
ground, right,
picks
and
it on
said,
the
"Hey
ground like the
man,
thing is just there laying on the ground. It's not
what
possible.
was that he picked on the ground again?"
I think is it teen? Is it teen that you mentioned or so? Something like that. It
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. Like you
and
don't get
you know the
those.
funny thing, he might be true or not. We don't
Yes,
know.
we don't know. That's the point.
Yeah, I think you're right. So voids always need to be filled. Nowhere, like a void cannot stay empty. So if there are not any credible media organizations playing in that space, going to do those, um, um, what you call it, like going to tell those stories or going on ground to let us know what is happening, other people will go and do it. And that's the
And they'll do
thing.
it
That's the
half-heartedly.
thing.
They'll do it half-heartedly.
Yes,
Yeah, and that's the danger in that.
yes, they'll do it. Yeah, and we don't know if someone watched it and the person told, just hit me up and said he doesn't think, the young man, and shout out to him, hey man, shout out to you, shout out to everything you're doing, because going down there alone is a lot. Like
Yeah,
going down there out of your comfort zone to that region when something has happened,
it's very
it's brave,
volatile,
I have to
very
say.
dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, and but someone said, hey, do you think this guy just went on his own, volition? Do you think this guy just went on his y- just woke up and said he wanted to go there? Don't you think someone motivated this guy to go there? Don't you think someone paid for his trip there?
Obviously.
And as so the person was trying to say he might not have gone on his own,
Accord.
but yeah, accord, and that it might also be motivated to to just show or shine some light on what is going on, which I can understand. And then there's a G wagon in the background,
Obviously.
where he's recording or whatever. So I see to Steve's point there where he says we need credible media organizations,
Yeah.
right, to tell these stories. And if they don't, what will happen? It is what has happened or is what is happening um, in other spheres of media, which is you have you know young single people who do not necessarily have media experience in telling
Mm-hmm.
stories but are passionate about it, maybe through it being a hobby, or they just want to tell stories. They now sort of become the leading figures in these spaces because the media platforms aren't necessarily equipped to do so, right? So
Yeah.
we talked about Very Dark Man. There's also like Daddy Freeze.
Kemi Lula,
Yeah, and the other and the other like
Kemi Lula
platforms and
started too.
people. Yeah.
Okay, so I woke up one day and I saw the governor of Plateau State have given an interview. I think in the local language. I don't know if it's outside. I don't know the language.
Hmm.
Then a side of this conversation now interpreted the conversation as to say that one of the victims was saying that he recognized one of the
Yeah, I saw
perpetrators
that
as a
story.
local,
Yeah, I saw that
right?
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the governor had to come out to make a statement to say, oh, part of those conversations that you were hearing was how do I put it? Was manipulated, like it's not
It
real,
was
like
it was doctored. Yeah.
it was doctored. And he put out a very strong statement condemning people doctoring his speech and the interviews that they gave to the victims, right? So I almost believed that's first the doctored conversation, right?
Footage. Yeah.
The footage before the Plateau State government now came out to give a very strong statement condemning the doctoring. So this is what happens when there's nothing to hold on to. Everybody's just trying to spin, and listen. In every clash, in every war, like media is a weapon on its own. Like propaganda is a weapon on its own. But when
Yep.
you have a strong base, you can have something, even on your own self, you can have something to believe in, to say this is what I think of this situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm scared. I don't know what to think.
Yeah. Yeah. I have the NPR app, or I used to have the NPR app, and when I was still like in the media space, it was very useful for me. And NPR, right? Every morning they have the news recap. Like they have the news recap by the hour,
Yeah.
whether it's on their websites or like on the app. And they are the first. They're almost like the News Agency of Nigeria, right? But it's a bit different. They are funded by the government, but they say they're independent. You get it? They're, and all that. And you start to ask yourself, how many of those kind of platforms do we have in Nigeria? What is news agent? Let me even go to their website.
So we have, as I go to the website, we have News Agency of Nigeria. We also have Voice of Nigeria. These are the government owned, media institutions in the country. We also have the NTA. We also have Radio Nigeria.
Voice of Nigeria is a radio entity.
Yeah, there's Radio Nigeria.
NTA is a television.
The Radio Nigeria.
Voice of Nigeria is Radio Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
NTA is the TV entity.
Yeah.
Why News Agency of Nigeria is the media
media agency.
Is the media agency? Is the media agency?
Yeah.
Like is the?
It's the one that
is the
text based.
Is the text?
Yeah.
It's the text format.
Yeah.
Let me just explain like that, right? Yeah. So what your NTA does?
I mean, they're already having multimedia now, anyways.
But anyway, yeah. Is what news agency does. But yeah, this is a news agency. News Agency of Nigeria should be having an app like the NPR app where I'll listen to every morning for like a really nuanced and very direct conversations about what's happening in Nigeria and an explanation for everything. You know why it's important? Because they have they have a general hold on Nigerians. They will have Fulani reporters, they have Hausa reporters, they have Yoruba, they have Igbos, they have all tribes and ethnics in Nigeria. They'll have, so with the understanding of these different tribes and entities, they'll be able to have like a nuanced conversation and give us what we really want. But my brothers and sisters, we all know that's impossible.
Steve,
with a news agency of Nigeria.
Steve, let me blow your mind.
Well, before you go ahead, I'm on the News Agency of Nigeria website. Is that where you are?
No, I'm not. I just want to say something else.
I'm on the News Agency of Nigeria's website, and they are quite trendy, guys. They have here NNPC Limited gives 200,000 PMS voucher to Lady Mocked on social media.
Oh man, talk about the great stories.
Hey man,
man,
they're on top. They're on top of things.
Yeah,
and they have a TikTok account.
What more do you want again? What more do you?
Yeah, they have a TikTok account. They have 2,816 followers on their TikTok account.
That's almost the same as mine. What do you mean? That trending?
So I see some effort from a Nigerian perspective. Like I see some effort. I'm not talking about the
even the website is really good.
Yeah, I'm seeing some effort here. I guess what you just need more, and we've worked with News Agency of Nigeria when we were Pulse, right? They were our partners. We paid for subscription, and we used to get stories from them, and their stories were very timely. To be honest. So there's work going on. What just needs to be improved here is quality.
Yeah.
On a large scale. Reporting, on a large scale.
Yeah, on a large scale. So quality of reporting, quality of operations, and quality of delivery, digital delivery, right? Like the website can be improved. How else can I consume the content? I'm seeing here they have multimedia. So I don't know if they have a podcast. So they're trying. Is what you do when you get in there. If they make you the MD, right, of this agency now, and Steve, you'll be the one to tell me, man, Osagie, we have the potential to get, and that's the story of Nigeria. Potential is there.
Potential is there.
Look at the multimedia. They have pictures. They have everything. Like people are working.
Bro, people are working because they have the manpower. They are everywhere. They have the latest.
They're spread across. Yeah.
Let me give you. You ask if I'm the MD. Let me just summarize it for you. If I'm the MD, nobody will have a better Afrobeat coverage than News Agency of Nigeria.
Yeah, true.
You know why I mentioned Afrobeat? Because that's the most important cultural export of Nigeria.
Yeah,
if I'm the MD, nobody will have a better MPFL coverage than News Agency of Nigeria. If I'm the MD, nobody will have a better youth culture coverage. Do you understand? Politics. That's all. And this is what is lacking. They are working, they're doing everything. But the strategy is not there.
Yeah, there's no strategy. There's no great agenda. Yeah. What's the great agenda? What are we trying to achieve?
What are we trying to achieve as a media agency?
They don't have that. So it's just clock in and clock out, do your bit and go home.
Yeah.
Because I see work, like
there's work, a lot of work, yeah. Even when we subscribe to them at Post, that they're working because they're everywhere. Something will happen in their Boeing and it's trending on Twitter. So they've already given us a report. Like a report about it. Yeah. But there's so much more. There's so much more detail needed.
Yeah. It's painful, man. It's painful. Hey, man, what a way to start the podcast.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. All right, let me do what I always do. How was the holiday, guys? How was the holidays?
There was a holiday. Was there a holiday?
We already discussed it at the last. So immediately the day after the last episode, we went back to work. So we already discussed our holidays last
No, I
episode.
didn't have a holiday.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we walked all through.
Capitalism is number one. Doesn't know end of year.
I've never struggled with work than last week. That 2nd of January resumption.
It was hard,
I was almost crying.
bro.
I went to play football on Thursday and someone told me that tomorrow is Friday. I was like, tomorrow is Friday? Oh my God, thank you, Jesus. I was so happy. So I'm going to throw a joke. Yeah, that's today, the first day. I'm going to just put on Slack. Everybody, welcome to the first working day of 2024.
Because last week was a blur.
Last week was a blur, my guy.
I get it. Yeah, so man, outlook for 2024. What is one thing you want to achieve before we get into our trending topic? What is one thing you want to achieve in 2024? Just one thing. That at the end of the year you say, "Hey man, I did this." You don't need to elaborate into it because we have monitoring spirits.
Yeah. Shout out to
People who don't believe in saying what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
I want to start creating personal professional content, like content that pertains to what I do professionally. I want to start creating personal content for it.
For me, I think it's just to amplify my personal brand. Because one thing I learned in 2023 is that the name AOT2 is big, but people can't really. There's a disconnect somewhere. So I think just to amplify my personal brand, just be out there more, just put my face out there more.
Yeah. I mean, speaking specifically to that, Ayo, like I see you're putting out videos now on
on
Instagram. Yeah. And I saw it and I was like, the first thing when I saw it, I was like, I know the amount of effort Ayo has putting this thing out. Like, I know the pain.
I'm learning editing now because of that. I'm learning editing.
Yeah. There are platforms that can help you do that.
Bro, there are platforms that you can do that. This thing.
Yeah, definitely. For you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So keep doing it. Do you have a mic? Do you have a mic strapped to you?
Yeah, I have a mic. Strapped.
He holds the mic. He holds it.
No, I just pin it to my shirt. I pin it to my shirt now.
Oh, you said okay.
Pin it to my shirt now.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I mean, yeah, he just is consistent. Look at Tunde, who is Tunde, and what a year for him last year, right? He started that whole video content, and he just started, and that's the beautiful part of it. I don't
know how Don Jazzy sees all his videos. Don Jazzy supports him a lot. Like I don't know how Don Jazzy sees the videos.
Sees everything, bro.
Don Jazzy sees everything.
Yeah, Don Jazzy sees everything. He has 5,000 followers. And to be very honest, Tunde, if you are listening to this, I'm very proud of you. Like I'm
because we also know the hard work.
Because I know. We know. We that come from that setting era. We know the hard work it takes for you to put yourself on camera. It is.
Yeah. But you know what is beautiful? Oh. I'm on his Instagram page now, and this is the typical when you stumble on some people's videos on your
reel. For you page.
So when you're scrolling on Instagram and you stumble on some recommended videos, right? And then you click on it and it takes you to the person's page and you see all the content the person has done. Yeah. That's what I see right now on Tunde's page. He's been able to do like the covers properly, and it's the same format, same settings, same glasses. He just changed the t-shirt, and then he has so much content, right? So much content. He's getting likes as high as 700, right? 400, 500, 1000. Whoa! Like I haven't been on his page in a while, so just looking at this alone, then he did a recap. 10 projects you may have missed, part 1. 10 projects you could have missed, and he has 1,500 comments. Likes, and he has over 100 comments. Sunny was not getting 10 comments at the start of this year.
Bro, his
and
Instagram
he's
barely
done
existed. His Instagram barely existed.
barely existed. You know what he used to have on his Instagram? He used to have his workouts photos.
Yeah,
And that's what he used to even put down on his Twitter. He is, like you said, his Instagram barely existed. And guess what he did? He's cleaned his IG, so he only has posts from February 2023. And you know, when you clean the IG, means that you're stepping up that stuff, you're stepping up,
yeah,
and then you go to the highlights, you can see Tom Tom ad, you can see TuneCore ad, you can see Drip Soap ad. So he's already running ads,
yeah.
and this is just less than a year of consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if you're listening to this and you're asking yourself, oh man, can I really do this? Just start.
Start whatever you have.
Just start. I'm sure when Tunde started, he was like, oh, what are my friends going to say? What are people going to say? How are people going to look at this? They're just going to think I'm just one Instagram something something on. I know how it is. We're like pairs. We all grew up in the same era. I get it. They're going to clown me. They're going to 1,000 likes. He's doing his thing. Don Jazzy reposted him how many times?
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah.
And he's running his podcast, and his podcast, Afrobeats Pod. Guys, you need to also listen to it. Afrobeats Weekly, man. You can check it out. Him and Show. And the numbers are also growing. This is a clear example of how to be inspired to do something. And even me, this is inspiring to me because there are some projects. We talked about this offline, right? You know how many projects we have in the bin
The,
that we've not been
the
able to do,
pipeline.
right? So, Steve, this is for you as well. This personal, just, hey, man, I get it. Come on, we just do this thing. Waiting, people could just talk. Right now, I really don't care. I'm going to do everything I want to do. And I hopefully in 2024, because I'm also battling with this thing. It's not like because I'm also spitting, saying,
Yeah.
talking, and I feel like I'm a fountain of knowledge. No, I'm also going through this. I had a conversation with somebody who listens to this pod and someone I respect a lot. And we talked about like identity crisis and all that.
No, you do,
And the
bro.
person reached out and said he's going through the same damn thing, right? And I'm going through the same. It is one of the reasons why I stopped tweeting, because I don't even know which audience I want to tweet to,
Yeah.
right? Because I moved from journalism, music, and all that. I moved into marketing. I'm doing something in a new field now. I don't even know I don't even know how, But someone told me something and said, just do what you want to do. Like, why do we create these barriers that don't exist for ourselves? Why do we do it all the time?
I think for us, let me speak for myself. It's just because when you how do I say it? When you think about when you're someone of quality and you really want to do quality things, you sometimes want to take too much time to do it and too much thought into it. For example, the reason why since I left media I've really been very private is just because apart from loose talk, there's nothing I do publicly anymore. Because for example, like I've spent all my life doing media, right? And I in 2022 I went into something entirely new, right? I needed time to learn what I was doing, like learn the industry, learn the new things, and before I start talking about it, right? And also, this identity thing, it has also happened to me from sports to music, human interest, politics, like
Yeah.
so many things. And just because my interest was so vast, and just needed to feed them, and it happened to me too. So I didn't know, and that's why I really love my sports side, because the industry really fuck with me a lot. So I know a lot of people in sports, so that has really helped me a lot. I remember when I lost my Twitter account, and in a day I got 500 followers. All of them were from sports, like fellow sports reporter. The Puja was giving me shout out every two days, like Oganla, like calling, like everybody was just following me,
Yeah.
just because this sports guys love me. So apart from the sports side, I've always been cool with the music guys also. So I was thinking about it last year. I was like, what do I really want to do? Like 2 years ago, what do I really want to do? I said, okay, this new field that I just got into, let me take this as a new obsession, because it's something I really love. He also he has a lot to do with the media also, storytelling, creating content, stuff like that. Like marketing is story, is content, right? So I was like, how do I tie this thing? So I've been taking my time to say, how do I do this? How do I tie this thing together to use to form a brand and push it? it has taken me a little bit of time because last year, so I was also doing so many courses. But right now, I think I'm definitely ready. I'm coming out with my first content next week,
You sure?
and I'm looking forward to it. I'm starting with editorial, though, like little bit of editorial, a little bit of LinkedIn, social media.
Yeah.
But with
Yeah.
time, I also like start doing video content about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just my own story.
And I think one thing to add to that, thank you, Steve, for being, opening up as well. I think one thing to add to that is you are always going to look or sound corny. That thing we say corny is going to happen.
Yes.
You cannot escape it. And it's all an illusion, that corny, because it's really isn't corny. Right? I'll tell you for a fact. If you go like on Twitter now, if you start following people who are into like data analysis or data science, right? You see people who aren't like 1 year into it, they're like content creators. And they're telling you, hey man, you can, blah blah blah, and they have like data in their name and everything, blah blah blah. And then you look and you're not even 1 year into this shit. What the fuck are you like? You are not an authority, you shouldn't be speaking about it. But guess what happens? What happens is that they continue because they have like taking on the burden of becoming an evangelist for that field. They are also tasked to be prepared and to be knowledgeable enough to answer questions, to give feedback to people, and in that way they continue to learn. Do you know the best way to learn is to write? Because in whatever field you are, and that's why we became very good at what we were doing, because we're journalists.
Yeah,
Because you always had to research before you put out anything.
yeah,
You always had to research, you always had to read, you always had to, in whatever field you are. And that's why it was easy for most of us to just transition into something else, because it was either comms or whatever. Yeah.
sorry, this thing that you said mentioned, that's how I got. So not really. I've always loved media. I've always done media, even from Delta States, coming even in uni. But you remember when I came to Lagos, I was obsessed with events planning, music planning, concert planning, right? Like it was something organizing parties, events, stuff like that, because something I had done before. So I was having a conversation with an OG. I really don't know this guy. I've never known him everywhere. I met this guy at a bar and we're having a conversation because I was in camp. I just came out from camp, right? I was fresh out of uni. I'm in NYC, I'm in Lagos, I'm serving. I really don't know what the future holds. I'm just having a conversation. This guy was just asking me, how is serving in Lagos? How was Yenakbaja camp? That's how we started the conversation. We started talking. I can remember this guy. He was wearing black and black. He was drinking Henneke. So just having a conversation, I said, "Oh, this is what I do." He was like, but you do well in the media. Oh. The interesting thing about the media is from there you can do anything. That's what the guy told me.
Hmm.
From there you can do it. I never put much thought into this until I was in the lab where I was posted to in VI one day, and someone brought entertainment newspaper to
To the lab.
to the lab, and I'm like, an entertainment newspaper. What is this? I love it. Where are they located? And that's when I went from there to Sun and stuff like that. And that's how the media journey started. But
But
that guy mentioned,
hold on. So you saw the Entertainment
I saw
Express
Entertainment Express
newspaper,
newspaper at the
and
office.
then you went to the office and told
I
them
went to
you
the
want to
office
work
the
there.
next day. The next day to tell them that I want to serve there. Yeah, the first
That's
when I
crazy.
walked in, the security guy said, "Okay, let me go and call one guy." He went in and called Mr. Femi.
Shout out to
Yeah, Mr.
Femi.
Femi came down. Say, Come upstairs. What's up? How are you? What do you serve?" I was telling him like, well, "How was camp? What do you want to do?" I said, "This is what I want to do." He said, "Okay, yeah, you are welcome, but we can't pay you. We don't have money." I said, "No, Wala now. I'll be fine." And that's it. So that guy mentioned something and said, from the media you can do anything. And Osagie, what have we seen in the media? What have
That's
you seen
true.
amongst like everybody we know? People have
Yeah.
moved on from the media to anything,
Yeah.
literally anything. Just because of our research skills. First of all, the media gives you that vast knowledge of almost every industry. You know so many things, and when you pick one, because of that, your mastering of research, you know how to research deep. You know where to go and look for stuff, right? And from there, you start gaining knowledge to go into other fields. Yeah, so you are right.
So man, at the end of the day, I think double
Yep.
down on what you want to do. You have only one life. Yeah, it's one. I think the craziest thing is You know what here's what I have noticed with like older people. The people I've met, right? They go through like two stages. The first stage is regrets. Oh, I wish I did this. Oh, I wish I did that. Oh, I wish I fell in love with this person. Oh, I wish I said this. Oh, I wish I actually stuck to how I feel. Then the later stage of that is I really don't like nothing matters anymore. And I want to get to the stage where I really don't regret anything and I can get to the nothing doesn't matter anymore stage, which is, you're old and you're expecting death anytime. And hey, man, God give us the strength to be able to do what we want to do. That's all I'm going to say,
Yeah, it's so interesting because the first version of Loose Talk, we used to talk about this, how talk about how to be corny online. I talk about how to be. Yeah, we used to talk about it, and the first week Osagie would do it. The next week Osagie would do it for 1 week and stop. It's like
because
how positioning yourself on social media, on Instagram, the fake branding, the fake position that people used to do that we used to laugh about.
And that shit helps. That shit works. That's the crazy thing.
It goes a long way, my guy.
That's what made me come up with that thing. As like the internet does not reward quality. It rewards consistency. It's simple. Once you are consistent with something, guy, then a regular has 1 million followers. No matter how you put up talk, no matter what you say about him,
he's consistent.
It's fucking wild.
When you guys share that thing in the group,
he was asking who? Who has 1 million?
Osagie asked who?
I said, who do you think has 1 million?
If you had asked me that, okay, like randomly, how many followers do you think that Rega has? I'll say, okay, cool, 250 something thousand. Because and that's high. Like that's the height of maybe. I'm not saying that's average. That's like height.
Yeah.
And you said 1 million, and you're like 1 million followers. Do you know what 1 million people is,
bro?
You take 1 million people to battle, you've won already. You take 1 million.
I don't think those battles they even battled in the biblical days or in the Roman. I don't think they were taking 1 million. They were taking 40,000 people now.
Yeah. 50,000. Yeah, that's true.
Bro, you take 50,000 to a war. Like say with a 5 war now, 50,000. Me and you now. Or you go run. You see 50,000.
I know one thing for certain. 50,000 people. I'm not dying because I'm not going to there.
How they go see that? How they no go see me? I go fight. I used to think about that thing too. Now 50,000 people or more. I'm hiding under a tree or something. I don't give a fuck. I ain't dying.
So 1 million followers is definitely like consistency.
Yeah. It's
you don't just freak yourself to
its art form. And we've all been there. Like Loose Talk, right? Look at how consistent we were back then. Even the consistency now, we can see the numbers and how the numbers are flying through the roof now, right?
Yeah.
It's consistency, right? Like we put it out every week, boom, 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 we put it out.
Yeah.
Like Tunde we talked about. Tunde is I think the sweet spot is quality and consistency.
Oh, you hacked it.
You hacked it.
Yeah, quality and consistency, right? Some examples of that is like what Tunde is doing. What he's doing is very helpful for upcoming artists.
Very well.
Like I'm looking at the comments, and the comments are, especially his wrap up of the year, amazing, because I'm just seeing people saying, "Oh, thank you for this. Oh, I really enjoyed this. Wow, this one is even a co-post with Don Jazzy. This is crazy." And I love it.
But that has been very, very supportive of him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So quality and consistency, 2024. Is that the motto? Is that what we're rolling with 2024? Is way better than no grief for anybody.
Yeah.
It's still the same thing as no grief for anybody too now.
There's so many takeaway. Corny is an illusion. There's no corny. It's an illusion.
Corny is an illusion.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. Corny, I like that. So corny is an illusion. Quality and consistency, 2024. Yeah. I don't like no grief for anybody. I think it's a.
You don't bring that energy here again.
I
thought Samson convinced you.
Samson, get your hands out.
The thing about Osagie is, once Osagie sees popular culture, the first thing Osagie does with popular culture is to attack it. First.
Over dissect it.
Over dissect it. Okay, let me not attack it. Not attack it. Over dissect it. Or think deeply. Take it so deeply.
Osagie,
give me an
everybody
example.
knows.
Give me an example.
Osagie, we woke up and everybody.
Fashion.
No grief for anybody.
Music. Slangs. bro. You over
No,
dissect issues.
no. Give me no. Like
Fashion.
fashion. What's the problem with fashion? Being half naked is popular mode.
I don't
Do you
know. Talk
understand?
that. See that fashion. You are exposed.
No,
And
no.
just allow
No.
me.
I'm ready. To, no, I'm. I
It's
see,
not.
hold
It's
on.
not. Only,
I'm
it's
ready
not
to
only
go
even
in.
that naked. It's just blinks, chains.
Victor Sime. Victor Sime
Victor Osimhen,
triggers.
Because
Victor Sime triggers
Osimhen is
Osagie.
showing his underwear, and I'm telling you, it is what he's doing doesn't make sense because he's adopting like a fashion culture of a certain Western demography, which just
which has
derailed
become
that.
popular culture, which you are over dissecting. It's the same thing I said now.
Osagie, you're from hip hop. You know what sagging is. Don't be forming as if you don't know what sagging is.
I didn't say what sagging is. I'm saying
That it
you
does
are,
not
what
make
I'm,
sense.
come on, you can like why is it I don't want to I don't want
See,
let's
ah,
not, let's not go into it. Let's not go into it. Let's not go into it.
don't let me
Let's not go
don't let
into
me go
it.
into
We know
this
so that
thing.
we'll
I
be able
beg.
to do our podcast today.
Let's just do
Yeah.
our podcast in peace, please. No grief for anybody.
well, I see the whole of Nigeria agrees to no
Grief for
grief for no
anybody.
grief for anybody. That's it.
So the way let's even break that down because let's break it down and I'll tell you why we should break it down because what Thompson said is a bit different from how I see it.
What
Okay,
did you say?
I will explain now. So Shola Thompson puts on. If you don't know Shola Thompson is like OG Media. Okay, OG Media, and now he actually has a movie coming out, and I think his movie stars Zainab Balogun.
Oh,
So you
that's
guys should
nice.
check it out. Yeah, he moved in from being. I mean, he moved from being a movie critic to actually, producing or directing his own movies. So I'm very proud of him. It's like a big bro to me. Yeah, so he says it's funny how people don't understand the undertone of no grief for anybody. People are already frustrated. To then perpetuate a mindset that endorses aggressiveness, then get ready for unwarranted road rage, aggravated assault, brainless social media comments, frequent workplace quarrels. We are already an aggressive bunch. This is not going to help matters. Okay, so that's the angle at which he took it from, and I shared that in the group. My angle is a bit different. My angle is more that no grief for anybody is just an outlook of the situation of where we are as a country, right? And I'll give you another example. I'm already seeing on social media, right? People are trying to make thrift store buying cool and funky, which is nice, but the outlook basically is people can't afford to buy new clothes anymore. Do you
Wait,
get my point?
when you're saying thrift, you're saying bend down select.
Fam,
I just want to, you
I'm
know.
talking Katangwa. Do you
Yeah.
understand? I'm talking Yaba Railway.
Oh man, I know they do that one with them.
This reminds me of one of my most funniest moments of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this guy on Instagram. He stays in Port Harcourt. His Instagram page is all about going to buy cheap, like Bendan Select, like thrift,
Mm-hmm.
right? And use it to style himself, like for dinner inspiration, or maybe suit or traditional. Like he has a big page in Port Harcourt. So one day he played this DM that he received, and one woman was very concerned about him. Every day you just go to the market and buy second hand. Does your body forbid new clothes? That's literally
It could be a spiritual problem.
that's what the woman asked. Like
What is wrong with you?
you could see this the genuine like sense of concern in this woman's voice.
Yeah.
Every day okrika, 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 okrika. Does your body forbid new clothes? God, did I saw that thing? I almost cried.
You know. So I'm just saying that it's the situation of the country, it's the general outlook of the country, right? People don't have necessary spending power. Now, this is not to take away from people buying like thrift clothes. I've bought thrift clothes for a long time. I couldn't, you understand? I even when I could buy new clothes, I still looked at it and said, this Instagram seller, he says this clothes is uh is thrift and it's not looking bad because it's just 4K for one. Or instead of me going to buy the 10,000 or 15,000, you know what? Let me just buy 10. That's 40K, right? For 10, let's go. So it's not like I didn't do that. That's fine. I'm just saying that more people are now um comfortable, right?
Adopting it, yeah.
And showing it off, right? It just shows that the purchasing power of the working class, right, is reducing to the point where thrift buying is now a thing, and because it's now a thing, it goes into pop culture as well. Because pop culture is the fastest place to put in something, or it's fastest place for something to be adopted,
Yeah.
right? Because it's cool. It's the same thing for no grief for anybody. Why you know they grief for anybody? It's because everybody has now access to limited, doesn't have access to resources. Resources are limited.
Yeah.
So I'm at the petrol station, right? And or I'm somewhere, and there's the resources there is small. And instead of me, usually I should say, "Oh, Steve, please go ahead." You know what happens in some parts of the US, right? People, when they line up at Starbucks or whatever, you're driving through the drive-through, they pay for themselves and they pay for the person at the back and say, "Hey, I'm paying for the person at the back," and then the person at the back pays for the person at the back, and it goes on like that for people who can afford it, right?
Yeah.
What we're seeing here now is I'm meant to enter here. Usually I should say, "Oh, Steve, go ahead." Now it's no grief for anybody. I not agree.
What
Yeah,
you're saying is this mantra is bad for a time when resources are so small.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Okay,
And that's
okay.
what Shola Thompson was saying.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
saying
okay.
just showing you the general outlook of where we are, and it is
A reflection of the mantra that I'm choosing for the year.
thank you. That's what I was looking for. It's a
Yeah.
reflection of what's happening right now in the country.
I love it, man. I need a t-shirt.
You're saying that the mantra fits it fits our present
Yes.
state. Yeah, okay.
And we should be worried.
No, well, I get you. I understand what you're saying.
All right, thank you. Now let's get into our trending topic of the week.
Yes, sir.
And it has to do with cooking, guys.
First of all,
Cooking.
Twitter Nigeria, I thought you people had changed. You people had left your bushman behavior 2022.
Ayo, no
straight
good
out
for anybody.
straight out the gate is food again.
Yes, they let the
Bro.
chopper go, and of course you have in this conversation. In this conversation, you have Twitter, you have cooking, you have feminists, and you have a man. It's going.
Osagie, guess what? That's a recipe for disaster.
I'm
a recipe
cooking,
for
baby.
disaster.
But thankfully there
Go
was no
and get me
disaster.
my-
There
go
was
and get me my-
there was an uplifting.
Go and get me my Agbari Ojukwu. And first of all, Yoruba people. First of all, you saw
What's
a
that?
cooking pot.
Yeah.
First of all, you saw a cooking pot.
Mhm.
You decided to name the cooking pot after the head of Ojukwu. What is wrong with you
It's
people?
an honor. It's an honor. He's inducted into the Yoruba Hall of Fame. What else do
You
you
know
want?
it Agbari Ojukwu.
He lost the war, but he won
You know
the
that.
he lost the war, but he won the pop culture. What do you want to
Wow.
give for him?
Steve, do you know the meaning of
Wow.
Agbari Ojukwu? Steve,
Hmm?
do you know the meaning of Agbari Ojukwu?
You talk to me. Tell me.
Okay.
Tell me how the most accommodating tribe in Nigeria
Yes.
is using an iconic figure from Biafra land for something
Steve,
I don't understand. You people should
maybe-
explain to me.
You will be fine.
All right, so Agbari Ojukwu is basically a cooking pot, and it's named after the head of Ojukwu, basically.
For you?
Never knew this.
So Agbari means head.
You see, you should be laughing.
What's the context to it?
Because they are trying to say Agbari's Ojukwu's head is big. It was big, and
Okay.
it looks like his head.
Did they lie?
What's Ojukwu says big? Let me go and look at Ojukwu again.
Hey, for you to start the war, your head has to be big, bro.
You understand? Like, how do you do that, and then you name it Agbari Ojukwu? What is wrong with? See, I've
That's
said this
wild.
thing. I
That's
don't think I've
wild,
said this
bro.
thing on the podcast, but
That's
I've said this
wild,
thing
bro.
on. I've said this thing in the group many times.
Bro, this
Like
man will,
Southwesterners are the biggest disrespecters of any other ethnic group. They really don't give a fuck about anybody.
bro, these guys were men at the age of 30. Let me
Bro.
let me just move on.
Bro, Kaduna.
No, look at that.
How was
Osagie.
Kaduna and Ziogo when he pulled the first one?
Steve, if you do that, you
No,
have you have depression.
I swear, these guys
The
are
one-
so young.
The one was so young that he was not married when he became head of state. Oh.
I'm
That's how
telling you,
young
bro.
that guy was.
God damn.
That's why when they say, "Oh, young people are the ones that save Nigeria," I'm like, bro, you're not younger than the people that were head of state back then, and they fucked up. Don't think you that are doing WAEC, you that are suffering under WAEC and JAM, will do any better.
Kaduna and Ziogo died at 30. You need to understand.
Still, Osagie, he died younger
Bro, he's
than
not at the age of 30, and I know so
He
much
was-
about him.
Jesus. Died at 33. My nigga died at 30. He died younger than
And he
Jesus.
said his work.
I went.
See, Kaduna Nziogu, Chukwuma Kaduna Nziogu died at the age of 30. I need you guys to understand when he
These
died.
guys were in their 20s doing this thing.
Let me
Bro,
calculate.
these- these
Let me
guys were
calculate
wild.
when it's
Steve,
1966.
there are people 30 years old just doing jam now.
No, it's
There are
1936.
people
guys
doing
were
jam as
wild.
30 years old.
He carried out the first. He was one of the five.
Yeah.
The five.
Yeah, cool men, yeah, cool plotters.
Yeah, who carried out the first coup in 66, right? He was
Yeah.
29. Where were you? Let me even calculate where I was 29. Let me see where my life was in
In
29.
hunger and penury.
No, Saga was not a hunger on pen.
Bro,
29, I think I was. Let
he,
me check.
no, yeah, bro, he wasn't okay.
You were leading the newsroom.
I was just getting out of it.
He was just getting out of it. The light at the end of the tunnel. You know they see the light at the end of the tunnel. The light
I was
every
just,
show.
I was just 2014 was a transformative year for me.
Yeah.
I won't lie. That's why this 2024, I'm not go grief for anybody.
That's true. 2014 was when I left my uncle's house. That's true.
Yeah.
2014 was when I moved out of my house as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. 2014 was a transformative year. So this 2024, no grief for. In fact, no grief for anybody. Now me adopt and pass. Maybe they go. Carry they go.
That's
There they go.
That's
Where will they go?
years.
Yeah, it's 10 years ago, bro.
10 years ago.
It's 10 years ago.
Awesome.
10 years ago. If you guys are listening, where were you 10 years ago?
Awesome.
What was happening 10 years ago? 10 years ago is, man, we thank God. Anyways,
You're just
So-
preparing for a trip to. You're just preparing for a trip to London.
where are we? Yeah. I wasn't preparing for my trip to London, to be very honest, at this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because ATG just called me 2 days before and said, "Hey,
That's
man,
true.
you're going to
London.
UK in 2 days' time."
That's true.
I was like, "What? Yeah. Get your shit together."
Yeah.
And let me tell you guys a funny story. That was the first time. So 2014 was the first time I traveled out, right? And I hadn't traveled before. I hadn't entered a plane before. Oh, I had entered a plane locally, but like this was my first trip out of Nigeria. And I remember I was like putting all my stuff together. I think he told me on a Friday, and my flight was like on a Monday. So I didn't have much time. So I was putting my stuff together, getting ready. I was going to spend like a month outside, the country. And my mom, of course, she stayed in the UK, and my dad, they had stayed in the UK for a while. I lost my dad by this time, but my mom, I stayed in the UK for a while. So she was saying, "Hey, man, you need to take a jacket. It's February. It's going to be cold." I was like, yeah, I get it's cold now, right? No, I'll figure it out when I get there. I'll buy a jacket at the airport. And she was like, "No, I think you should take a jacket." It's always good to listen to your parents because they just have some requisite experience that you don't have. And you're a young guy, you're like, see, it's fine. I will get there, I will take a jacket. It's not, I will buy a jacket at the airport. Anyways, I get, in the air, it's chilly. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Touchdown Heathrow, and yes, I started to feel the cold when I come out of the plane, right? It started to feel the cold. I'm still in the airport, but I don't feel and it's night, so there was no way I could get the jackets. And the only thing on my mind, this was BlackBerry day, so there was no WhatsApp. ATG was already in it was like High Park or somewhere, so I had to get to him, right? I didn't know how to get to him. I didn't have, I had cash because I had gotten cash, right? But I didn't have any other means to get to him. I couldn't connect. It's BlackBerry. You can't connect Wi-Fi. You know how BlackBerry was now.
Yeah.
It was mostly mobile connection. You could do the connection, but it won't work. It was whatever, right? So there was no how I could reach him. I didn't have an international SIM. I tried to text him. I don't know, Sha. So I knew where to head to. He had already sent me the message. Get to this specific place. I have a room for you there. It was like some of those motels, not really the big hotels. So where I could get a room. So I had to get there. And I got out with my bag. Now the cold is hitting me hard. I took a black cab, guys.
You are rich. You are rich.
If anybody's listening to this, stays in
By the
UK,
time when you get down, I want to know how you paid.
I spent 26,000 naira.
The guy calculated it.
Even in dirty December.
because
Even in dirty
the meter
December.
was-
26,000.
I was meant to take the bus or
Yeah.
whatever. Not a black cab, but I didn't know what a black cab was. So, hey, and the meter kept reading. I was looking at the meter and I was calculating.
The calculator will naira.
Ah,
I was like,
oh
by the
man.
time I got to High Park, I had spent 26,000 naira.
Damn.
I was like,
How much was our salary then that you were spending to? You spent
That's
almost,
that,
almost my
that's half his
salary.
salary. That's half his salary, you know.
that's
That
half of Steve's salary.
was more than half
See,
of my salary at that time.
Okay.
if three of us do an album, we have to call that album. I know Crayon has already called his album Trenches to Triumph, but
Yeah.
you
Oh
gotta call
god.
it
Oh god.
TTT,
Oh
Trenches
more.
to Triumph.
Oh
You know.
more.
Anyways, that's why I spent. I shall pay the guy. The team pay me. Yeah, pay the guy. Went there. The booking wasn't. Something was wrong with the booking.
Yeah.
So and the place was crowded. So the guy said, "Please, could you just step out? I'm trying to,
Yeah.
guy
Sort of.
don't. I don't sharply. You no get money, or your booking no straight. Let me
No
sort
straight.
people."
Yeah.
I was in the cold by this time. My teeth had already started going.
More. What? You're not wearing anything. You're not wearing a jacket.
I still didn't have a jacket.
Fuck is wrong with you, nigga? You know,
Bro.
for just black person for airport now. So more.
Where you
Johnny
want
just
this?
come. Oh.
So I'm in the cold. It was crazy.
Something if I don't go at Swanee markets, go buy jackets.
One time.
Brother,
No, they listen. Children don't they listen.
if I don't go Vespa, go buy
Vespa,
go buy jacket.
no, Vespa too far now. That's why
Bro.
Vespa is too far now.
Bro, do you know? I'm telling you, I was trenched off. Let me put it like that. I went to Vespa. I didn't have enough money. I went to Vespa. I liked the pair of shoes, right?
Yeah.
I asked the guy how much the shoes was. Guy said it was 8,000 naira. I only have 4,000 naira with me. Guy said no problem. Take one leg now. When you get the money, come carry the next leg.
That's all.
And I went.
Oh man,
with one
Vespa
leg.
is foul, Sagi.
Bro, if I tell you all the hustle I've also done this life.
Their shoes are so cheap at Vespa. You know, I've told
understand?
somebody this thing before. I think there was a guy disturbing me about, he does not know what to do, stuff like that. And he liked shoes. And I gave him 50K. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. So go to Vespa, buy
You go
shoes,
see shoes.
come back and start selling them. And start reselling them. Open an Instagram page or something. I think Facebook or something. You know. The guy did it. I think he went back on that trip like 4 or 5 times. Then later he came back. So the guy, for context, he does. He's my wife's cousin. So for context, he works in Nollywood. Like he does script writing. He does like stuff like that. Then he came back one day. I think he was even using it to sustain himself. He said nah, the business does not suit, like it does not fit his lifestyle, like the kind of life he wants to live. Say the thing,
Yeah.
the shame for the business and in the industry that he was working in, the
No
thing will
video
fall
run
in
like
web.
that, yeah.
I told my wife, say, did this guy go come this house again, come beg me for money?
Go chill.
Go fight him, eh? You know. He's doing well in Nollywood anyway. He's I can't force him. I think he
Yeah.
even listens to the podcast. You'll be fine, my guy.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Wish you the best, man.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for your blockbuster Nollywood movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
1 billion naira one.
He has
What
done a
happened?
couple of stuff, yeah, like
My brother, as you
directing.
the right time, no grief for
No
anybody.
grief for anybody. So that's how I knew. That's how I knew Vespa. That's how I knew where Vespa was. It's very
Okay.
far. More. They try you.
Vespa.
Far.
My brother. After a Janiki,
You go. They go.
you could dey go.
Then later, why you can't get the fuck? You came back for the other leg.
Yes, I went back for the other leg now, and the guy gave me. He said, you don't come back. Igbo guy. He said, you don't come back. I said, I don't get the money. Take her now. Give me the shoe. And I robbed that shoe.
Yeah,
Die.
shoes are cheap. They're ridiculously cheap.
Save for the remaining half.
Yeah.
See, I think it's also important, right? So as some of us are like parents here, and as our kids continue to grow older, it's one thing I appreciate my parents, doing for me is that they gave me some level of free will to do a lot of things. Like, and those things are what shaped up like my reality and shaped up like how I think, how I move, that made me street smart. Like my folks at home, they didn't make me street smart. They gave me all the best. They gave me education. They gave me like they put me in front of they gave me access to the world by reading books and being educated and all that. But I got my street smart from the streets. And the process of me, going from being like a jabber, so to say, but in the mind, to like learning what street smart is was a painful process. I lost money, I got beat up. There are like different things that happened. But I think those things are always necessary I'm not saying getting beat up is necessary to be street smart, but like you have to go through you have to go through hell to get to heaven. You have to go
You
through
can't be
some.
sheltered all your life. Yeah,
You
as a
understand?
kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
So for folks out there, I know it's not easy. You want to shelter your kids and everything. At times, let your kids fall. My daughter, she was riding a bike. She fell in gutter twice.
yeah.
It's
I
allowed.
go, oh my
It's
god! I
legal
was like, it's fine. Do you understand? She's not going to fall again. Now
at all.
she can't. She doesn't fall. You know. So when it's the same thing. You have to let your kids run. You have to let that kid, that baby who's trying to make those steps. You have to let them make those steps and fall and get back up. It's part of the process of becoming somebody in life.
That is going to be a problem with millennial parents because
Mm,
of the trauma that we pass through
mm-hmm,
because we're trying to overcompensate and not let our children pass through that.
Yeah.
mm.
I was looking at Denzel recently. I'm like, this was such a soft kid. Come on, what the fuck? But and it's because I like sports. I like really, and he's a very
Mm-hmm.
hyper kid. So at the time, that was like last year. We started going out like early like late 2022. We started going out to the pitch. You play football. You fall. You injure his knee, and that was when he started like toughening up a little bit.
Mhm.
He now you see him now. He could withstand like some certain level of pain that his mates cannot.
Yeah,
Like he's fine. He hit his leg on a chair and just rub it and just move on. Like he's because he has passed through like a level of physical pain while playing sports,
Yeah.
while engaging in physical
it's all in the
activity.
mind.
It's all in the mind. So I think it's because I look at my friends and our kids, all of us, like I see how soft these children are likely to
Yeah,
be.
they're
I'm like,
babies.
how
They're
more?
babies.
It's because of the way the parents grew up. Now. They don't-
Yeah, and you know why? And it's also the thing is there are two ways to do about it, right? If like I see it, I was explaining to my friend recently. I say, you know what, to come to counter that deficit, we have to give them, their mind have to be really, really sharp. Like their mind
Yeah.
has to be sharp, and we have to be able to put them in a position where they'll get opportunities earlier. So that it counters the reason why we know that the street has helped us is because of what we had to pass through to get to where we are now right now and the agidi what we'll do to just get in position. It wasn't easy because nobody
Yeah.
gave it to us, so it's just giving them better opportunities as long as well as also, leaving them also to do stuff on their own. Let them get injured in the process and learn from it. It will be hard for us, but it is what it is. We have to do it.
You know what they say? There's this whole saying, right? Strong men create good times. Good times
That's
create
cool,
weak men.
man.
Weak men create hard times,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
hard times create strong men.
That's
Yeah.
I think that's just it.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm going
Hard
to
times
America
create
right now.
strong
With
men,
that.
and then strong men create good times, and then the good times create the weak men. Right? So we guys make sure see
Yes.
yeah,
The OT.
the orientation day, and hopefully God will guide us as we no grief for anybody. All right, man. Back into this whole trending topic. We've deviated again. All right, who's going to give us the recap of this stuff?
No, no, no.
Who wants to?
Me, I don't know because I was asking questions in the group. So please.
I don't know.
this
Yeah,
is-
the pop culture guy now.
Yeah,
pop
culture
It was
Come on, man.
food. It was food, and I don't.
Come
I
on,
think
man.
There's nothing. The summary succinctly. I think they were talking about colleagues bringing food to the office. And
So a lady.
I'm going to look. I'm
So
going to
hold
look at
on,
the tweet.
Steve.
You guys go ahead.
A lady made a tweet. Unknowingly, she didn't know she was going to make a KDB-esque through pass. She said there's a man who always eats everybody's food in this thing, blah blah. Oh no, there's a woman who always wakes up around 5 to cook
No.
food for her husband. That was the
Yeah,
first.
yeah, that's true. That was the first tweet.
The
Yeah.
mommy Z, who is Haaland. She's the Haaland in this case. So I said, ever since
My
like
hus-
my husband's colleague said she brings 2 spoons for
My husband told
him
me
to
that his colleagues is bringing 2 spoons for
eat.
him to
Yeah,
join.
and the colleague is a
Okay,
lady. Yeah.
Can I read
Of
the
course,
tweet?
now.
Okay, read it,
Sorry,
please.
okay.
Yeah.
Read the tweet.
So a lady tweets, there's a lady that wakes up at 5 a.m. to make her husband lunch for work and then puts a crying emoji, right? Trying to say, hey,
That's so far.
like,
Yeah.
now suffer head be that. And this lady, called Debbie underscore Debbie underscore OA,
AKA Mommy D.
Mommy Z.
Mom Z,
Mommy
Z.
Z. Mommy Z, sorry.
who's the number one trending topic in Nigeria, by the way.
Number one. Oh.
Says, I've always been too lazy to wake up and get his lunch ready. But the day he told me a colleague brought 2 spoons so he'll eat with her, was the day I set my alarm for 4:50 a.m.
450 felu.
4:50 felu. Oh yeah, Lord Dano. Yeah, Lord Jem. All right. So
Yeah.
this tweet currently sits at 22 million views.
Elon Musk
Right?
paid the woman.
50
Man.
No, she's not verified.
She's not verified.
Hey, why?
59,000 likes, 21,000 retweets with 3,400 comments. Safe to say this
Someone that
has gone
had less than 200 followers.
Now,
Yes,
right.
She has. They said that
she
she has
currently
above
has
100,000 followers right now.
117,300.
Influencer. Influencer
Social
already.
media is
Yeah, she should just become a relationship coach.
Yeah.
okay. So that
Yeah,
happened, right?
that happened,
And
yeah.
then there was a lot of reaction to her tweets, right? So a lot of
Obviously,
people reacted. I know. Hey guys, I also know it's easy to say this narrative. Oh, feminists started, throwing on
Attacking.
her. And that's not really what happened. I know it's nice to tell that story that way because it helps.
That's really literally what happened, Osagie.
No, that's not what happened.
Oh, yeah, what happened?
You can't
What
say
happened?
you can't put in air quotes and say feminists did
I
that.
didn't say feminist. I didn't say feminist.
No, that's
I
what
can't,
that,
I can't call
that's
those people feminist. People start brook shaming her.
that's it.
Yeah, people start brook shaming her.
Who are these people?
Yeah,
They have a
do
gender.
you know why people
Not
start saying
not broke
feminist?
shaming her. Not
Yeah.
broke shaming her. It wasn't broke
Brook shaming
shaming
the
her.
husband self.
Before it went into broke shaming, people just started shaming her by saying, why should you be waking up at such an ungodly hour
Yeah.
to prepare meals for your husband? What
For
sort
an
of
adult. Yeah.
for an adult? Then he went into the whole route of patriarchy and how
Yeah.
patriarchy suppresses women to
Yeah.
in
To
air quotes
cook.
again, suppresses women to or limits them or just relegates them to cooking and stressing their bodies to wake up at such time to cook and etc. And then a lot of people also started piling on her, insulting her, making fun of her. Of course, the majority of those tweets that went viral were by a certain demography.
A coven.
Ayo.
We'll move on. It's a new year. New year, new me, please. Let's move on.
and all that. And where was the turning point in this story?
Yeah.
The point was when they used because she had tweeted her account like some days before about needing help to buy something or so. Like I think people used it to brook shame her. People were like, why are you brook shaming her? Let's get this thing for her. And that was how the donations started.
Look at that.
And she's the last screenshot I saw, I think 3 million. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I think
I could have said they're going to match. They're going to match.
Before we even get to Kuda, she even tweeted something after the whole broke shaming and the piling on started. She said, "Come back to see takes. I don't even have a job. I'm waking up at 4:50. When I get a job, I'll still wake up at 4:50." As Proverbs 31, as a Proverbs 31 woman,
Oh, tell
that
me,
God has
sister.
made me to be. Kelore Pokuns. Kelore Pokuns. So like, go and hang yourselves. I think that's what that means. Yeah. Like she didn't care.
She said no grief for anybody. She was giving it to.
No, I think there's no grief for anybody.
She was giving it to everybody,
guys. Because if she chickened out, hey man,
look at what happened.
Knows?
Yeah.
Maybe imagine she deleted this tweet.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
maybe because she was scared of the reactions or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
no grief for anybody.
What the fuck?
Guys,
She even called what's that woman's name? Uju. She called her an Agbaya.
Are you serious?
She said, see this Agbaya. She responded to her.
Fire for fire. I love it. I love it.
Twitter is hard. Like 2020, like 2016, 17, you remember that these people, nobody can talk to them on Twitter. Do you remember when nobody, like if a feminist talks to you on Twitter,
you run.
You either go and beg or you switch off your phone.
You padlock your account straight up.
Like when they mean you. I've always been saying you people should not worry.
But weaponize it, they go take her from
very soon, everybody will get gone. And what happens when everybody has gone?
America, right to bear arms.
So
shooting time.
So right to bear arms. Stand your ground. Stand your ground.
Stand your ground.
Nobody they agree.
If they come, they come. Stand your ground, no.
You know.
So you can see on her timeline in real
Yeah.
time as people
How had these
start
things
to
how these things
this thing
unfolded?
started unfolding. People just started sending her money, right? So she goes, "Oh, who sent me 40K? Oh, who
Yeah.
sent me this? Oh my God, you sent me." And bro, someone sends her 180K, and the money starts piling up, and they keep sending the money, and they keep sending the money, and they keep sending. There's a screenshot where the money is 568,000. There's a screenshot where it gets to 1.1 million. Bro, I think one of the first few brands that reacted immediately was Kuda, no, was Infinix. Infinix
Yeah.
said, "Hey man, we're giving you
Phone.
like a phone." Then there's another person who was in need of money, and someone tweeted and said, "Oh, while this is happening, some people
One,
are in need of money." And then she takes 250K out of the money she's
and
receiving, and
gives to
then
them.
gives to that person, bro.
She
That thing,
pays it.
it be
She
like,
paid it forward.
it be like, it be like the thing be like,
It trigger people. Say, eh? Then people
bro.
were also looking for our old tweets to kind of discredit her. You mean the
Yes,
more tweets they saw, the more
the more tweets they saw, the more they saw how she was supportive of her husband and
bro
how she was in character, still in character.
in character, like it was she was consistent.
Yeah.
Then
So
they
she
discovered the
tweets,
husband's account, Twitter account,
yes, of course. You know, the FBI, people don't have work now.
and
First
they
of all, it
went.
didn't get to 2 million. Then Kuda says, we'll match the 2 million. And then they match the 2 million and it gets to 4 million, right? And then other brands are now like
Even
what I've
Tenny,
seen.
Tenny
dropped.
Makanaki sent her money.
Yeah. Tenny dropped something. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Then right now, I will just tell you right now, it's a madness.
it's a madness.
Now,
this
like
point-
everybody has now jumped. Like
But-
I've seen close to like 15 other brands.
Yeah,
Like it's now
it's a
full-
madness.
Osagie,
It's now a madness.
I won't be surprised if
I'm
the first.
I'm worried.
I'm scared for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
worried for
because
her.
the money is over. I think somebody tweeted and said, "Okay, you men, please continue. We can see what you are doing. Oh. Continue. Let this money pass five. Let this money
Past
reach
5
5
million. She
million."
now said,
And she
yeah,
says, "I'm sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
gone. What's in love? You don't go.
Sorry.
girl.
I'm sorry. Alhamdulillah.
Osagie,
Money is past
at
five."
this rate, I'll be surprised if the first lady steps into this too.
My brother, right now, what I'm seeing, people have sent her cooking gas, cooking
It's a
utensils.
madness. Someone
Someone
wants
has
to
offered
paint
to
her
pay her
house.
rent.
Someone wants to clean
Somebody
her.
has offered to relocate the husband.
It's a
Like,
madness.
namely, I've seen someone offer that if they can get to Brazil, they will get to the baby, because she's pregnant apparently. You know, what I've seen so far is
It's a
scary.
madness. Yeah,
And
it's scary.
shout out
Scary for
to-
me. Yeah,
Yeah, shout out to what's his name? Let me see if I can look for his handle. What's this guy? Patito's gang. What's his name again?
Particularly,
Patito. So his son tweeted something, which which makes a lot of sense, right? He says, "Once you eat the apple of social media largesse, reduce your digital footprint for your
Yeah.
own sake."
yep.
Because one day they will come for you. The internet never forgets. Chow your windfall and go. Which is
Yeah.
what I kind of put in the group yesterday to say it's at the arc.
Yep.
There's a social media arc, right? Because they love you, they love you, they love you, they love you. And it gets to one certain arc. And if you are not careful,
first they love you, then they hate you, then they love you again.
they'll burn it down. So
She has to
I
look for a
hope-
way out. I hope she does not look at the 100,000 followers and to think that she has to continue playing in that circle.
it's just one tweet.
Yeah. You have to. Like,
just-
you
it's
have
just
to
one
get
tweet.
out. She has to get out.
I hope they have someone like an elderly person who really understands how media works, because I'm sure 1 million people are reaching out to them for interviews. That's also
Yeah.
another thing.
Oh, yeah,
They're
definitely.
reaching out
Should
to
not
the
do it.
husband and all that. They need to find a way to
They should not
Like,
do it.
take all of that and sort
I
of.
know one of the person who's reaching out to them.
Uh-huh.
I will not mention name. I don't know anything, but I know that person is reaching out to them.
Yeah, and I hope they are able to like navigate this, because it's very dangerous, delicate. I won't say dangerous, but a very delicate space they are in as well.
dangerous,
They've
yeah.
received all these things. In my opinion, if they need to move from the place they are moving, let them move.
Yeah.
Also, be very careful. Don't go and move into. Someone said, "I'll pay your first year." Okay, they pay for the first year. Can you pay the second year?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
So all those things. But it's amazing. This is
Yeah.
what
But
social media can
their
do.
life has have changed.
It's
yeah.
changed.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
changed forever. It's changed. The brands I've seen, like, bro, it's just on my timeline. I'm just seeing brands. Just brands on brands and brands and brands, just giving them stuff, giving them
Okay.
money, giving them prices.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So I'm
Yeah.
looking at this thing from three lenses, right?
Hmm.
The three questions I'm asking is one, why did the feminists react like this? Like
Before
why
you
that
started
initial
receiving the
reaction?
gist or
Why,
or
yeah,
the
of
initial
course.
reaction.
Why that initial attack? Why did
I
that
guess
why
it
that
doesn't suit
initial
their agenda, and the agenda is so the definition of a lot of feminism that happens in Nigeria, right? Is and this was before I even say the definition, this was constructed and created by a group of people, I believe,
yeah.
who have their own agenda and mandates, and then they've kind of used that agenda and mandate and merged it into what people should think what feminism is, right? And the agenda and mandate is man hate,
Yeah.
and the man hate can stem from like a couple of different things, right? I don't believe this is what feminism is. Feminism, like to cut it short, you just put it in like as um as plainly as it is whatever a woman wants to do, let her do, right?
Yeah.
So my question is, if whatever a woman wants to do, we should let her do. Why is it that
Unless it don't counter to our main hate agenda.
Okay.
why is it that when they then choose to do something that really doesn't suit your own agenda, you then get mad at it?
Same thing, yeah.
That's the question around it. So
I
it
think
doesn't definitely suit the agenda, right?
yeah.
Which is, oh, do not take care of your man, blah blah blah. Without context as well. That's the thing. It's never contextualized, right? Oh, you're cooking for your man, but you don't know what the sacrifices. That's a sacrifice to wake up at 4:50 to cook for
Mm-hmm.
yourself and cook for somebody who's heading out to work, right? It's a sacrifice. Now, the context is taken out. If someone tweets, oh, my man said, when somebody brought an extra spoon, you don't know the context in which that was spoken. You don't know if the woman,
Yeah.
like, there's so many
That's going
things
to
and
even be
layers.
another that's going to even be another lens that we're going to look at. If you
Yeah.
can steal someone, the concept of stealing someone's husband because of food. And it's still something I want to talk about, right? It's not just as black and white, but I'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
So for the feminist part, I understand something. I understand a reason for that first attack. Do you
What
get?
was the reason? What was the reason? Explain. Because me, I don't know it. All.
So let me explain. When you are battling like stereotypes and ideologies, right? The common starting point for any movement at all is to attack popular culture. Do you get?
Yeah.
When like slave trade, like having slaves was a popular culture.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
popular. Yeah.
Before you start fighting against it, you start battling the stereotypes, the ideologies. So for so long, the idea that women belong in the kitchen, right, have been used to, like it reflected the state of how we treated women in our lives, right? We don't give them access to opportunities just because we believe that, oh,
One of the characteristics of
the woman's
putting
job
a
is just
woman
to
in a
take,
place
Yeah.
thank
is cook for the man
cook
and
for
the
the
family.
man. So I think that idea of always fighting against this thing on Twitter, cooking, is just that starting point of attacking popular culture, of the notion of what people expect women to be.
Yeah, to be
Do you understand?
domesticated and not be doing domestic work.
Exactly. So feminists have come out to rightly fight this general opinion, right? To say no, we don't belong in the kitchen. We belong anywhere we want to belong. We belong in the if we want the opportunity to belong in the kitchen, in the boardroom, in the field, like wherever, right? So I understand that idea behind attacking every notion that is in line with woman belonging in the kitchen, right? But you understand, you remember I always talk about being slaves to an idea, right? When you are a slave to an idea, you don't have the intelligence or the capacity to apply context to situations.
Critical thinking, don't they?
Yeah. So because many of these people are not intelligent, they don't see any context behind the woman waking up to cook for her husband. So immediately they start applying biases. They start twisting the story to suit their agenda. Do you understand?
They
Oh,
frame it to fill the agenda. Yeah.
you are waking up to cook for an adult. You are pregnant and waking up to cook for a man
Your husband
who's
is eating up and down anyhow.
begging his colleagues for food. You are waking up to cook for a poor man. You are waking up to cook for a man who they want to steal with food. Do you understand? All sorts of scenarios we have not clearly seen that did not apply to this situation. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest lesson for every one of them, for the feminists, even everybody, is to do not be slave to any idea. the word is we often talk about like the word is too complex, like it's too chaotic to have such like a linear pattern of thought, like to think in
Yep.
such a linear pattern, right? Is you can't just be linear. You have to always sit down and apply context and apply, you know. And this comes back to my conversation about like this issue. Anything that this thing bothers me anytime the issue of cooking comes up. Is cooking the only chore at home? Like, why
I
does it
just
bring so much
remembered.
chaos
I
to
just
you? Like,
remembered.
We are going
this
back
is
again to that
just
last
my head.
year's
Like,
wahala
no,
again.
like who cleans the house? Who washes the clothes? Who ensures the house is clean? Like who goes to the like the thing don't tire me. Like oh bro, when this conversation came up, I'm like cooking, and I always apply this situation to myself. Like my wife not body. This
Again.
my wife no like stress. You understand me? Before we could able to afford helps, bro. Now me go wash. I go clean house, wash curtain, do everything. But at the time, because I didn't have that chance, sometimes the house will be dirty. My wife will be telling me, "You've not cleaned this thing." The thing they even the construct with that time. I beg when I have time, I'll have time. I'll do it. Sometimes I'll do it well. Sometimes I will not do it well. You do understand? Like it's. But if, for example, during that time, my wife comes out to say, it's my job to cook. Oh. All my wife husband has to do is eat." You will not say she will not say she's been oppressed. Do you understand? Without context,
That nuance.
it doesn't make sense to just that's just my like. What can you? How will you see somebody make that tweet and immediately your brain goes into you are being oppressed. Your
So
husband
many
is
dynamics
so many
between a man and a
dynamic that
woman
don't make.
who have been married for 8 years.
Ooh, do you
You think the woman who
understand?
wakes up at a certain time to do something for her
Bro.
husband, you think
Look at the Uju who was the first person to one of the first people to attack her. She won at the last 3 years ago. Someone brought up the tweet where she tweeted a photo of her partner eating,
Yeah.
and she said one of the greatest things that's given me joy is how she eats more bono soup. Do you understand?
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, like what is fine.
The
Like
internet never
You saw
forgets.
you get joy from
you
that.
get joy from that, but you are seeing another woman who's getting a joy. So now you are coming back to say, oh, you thought she was just scared. The idea of someone being scared that they're going to use food to take their husband. I'm like, oh god, that's
We need to do better as a
yeah, we need to
society.
do better. And also this idea of you see this idea of they want to use food. Can they use food to steal a man? It's also you thinking in a very linear way. Do you understand? I want to start with this. I want to start with a story.
It's quite insulting.
It's so clear. I want to tell you a story.
Do you understand?
I had this colleague that I was very close to, right? Like I'm still friends with her to today. And you guys will know her. You guys know her. She's someone I have so much love for, right? Till today. So there was this time she started following a guy in his car from the mainland to the island every day to work, right?
Yeah.
At that time, she was single. You know when they say someone's single to stupor, right? And by the time I saw the dynamics, I knew that she was following the guy every day from the mainland to the island and even back. I'm like, oh, they're going to start dating. I just said it to myself, right? Do you know why I said that?
Why?
Okay.
Can I guess?
But why? Guess.
They're in close proximity to each other. They
Simple
see
as
each
that.
other every day. They are both single.
Thank you.
There will be some dynamics that will go into it where
Yeah.
you understand they will
That's
test
too many
out.
connecting points for them.
Bro.
Yeah. And they're
And
single.
the start of it all is that this person is helping you. What starts this thing is that point of care when someone is solving a pain point for you, right? Immediately that happens, there is a breakdown of some certain walls. Like
Your barriers.
you're losing your guard. Like when that happens, when someone is caring for you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
When someone is
Genuinely caring for you.
genuinely caring and doing some, you drop your guard. Like it's a human response. It's simple, it's complex. I don't know how to explain it, but the act of caring can lead to like several like various emotional outcomes like that can develop into closeness and intimacy. Do you understand that concept?
And to just to extend what you're saying, that intimacy doesn't necessarily need to be sexual.
That's it.
Doesn't have to be.
In short, it doesn't. I'm not even thinking about sex now. Intimacy means like you people are having conversations, you people are
Yes.
talking. Intimacy is that guard that you've dropped. Once
Yes.
you've dropped your guard,
Yes.
There's always an intimate moment. So it's
Yeah.
not nobody. And what imagine having imagine everybody, every one of us, we are going to be jealous of thinking of having the thought that our partner
It's
is going
having
to be
another intimate moment with someone
moment with
beyond you.
anybody.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
For that
Especially
woman,
for women.
for Debbie, she's scared that food is
That
going to
connection
make
point, yeah.
bring that connection point.
Yeah.
For you that is insulting her on Twitter, trust me, if your needs, because of your status in life, your financial level, or whatever level you are, if the needs of your partner extends further than food, there's something that someone is going to offer your partner that will make them losing their guard.
Yeah. And that's an entry point.
Because you are a human, you are going to be envious and jealous of that. And that's why, what do we do for people we love? We make sure we are the most people who care for them.
Yeah. I was in constant
I have a
contact with
friend,
them.
I have a friend, right, who got married, right? Who married a girl just because she was available when he lost his sibling. The death affected him so much that the girl was present all through his ordeal. He immediately recovered at her and said, "You know what? Let me marry this girl now." Do you understand?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just human. It's like it's just this, like this real life scenarios, right? It validates psychological like theories surrounding like human behavior, emotional connection. It's just what makes us humans. So you
brother.
can't think that deeply about something that you just say, oh, you are scared that they want to thief your man with. I'm like, people have
brother.
to be more. Oh God.
People need to think. So it's linear thinking, right?
It's
and
linear
people think in black and white. And the platform, again, I'm sorry, and I do this all the time, but
it's
the platform
true. It's true.
the conversation is being had does not allow for contextual thinking. It's only a few people that can think contextually on Twitter. Only a few.
Yeah.
You know,
agree.
and these are, and most times these are like professors, a couple of people. I don't want to like pigeonhole it into like a race or class of
Or
people,
I think it's not for me. It's not even the type of people. I think it's the intention. Once you are not tweeting for like clouds,
yeah.
there's that ability to like draw more nuance and more context into conversation. But once you want that,
even people that don't even tweet for cloud, they tweet ignorantly. Do you notice how
it's
we
true.
never had this kind of issues on Clubhouse?
Yeah,
But it's more expressive.
that's
Exactly.
true.
You
That's
talk,
true.
you explain.
You explain.
Because defend your point. And
Is
that's
it that
what
people
the
don't know?
problem
Is
is.
it that people don't know how to put their thoughts in writing?
So what is happening is that people can't. The way the platform is set up is a couple of things. The first is because you have a limited number of so the first is people can't express themselves well in writing. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
The second thing is because you write in quick, like you have to write quickly, and it comes out in like short form, and you're tweeting sporadically, right, most times, and how you're consuming it as well, or how you're going to reply. You don't put a lot of context in your writing. So you tweet one way, and then you have to back up your tweet by saying, "Oh, this is what I meant." So that's what usually happens, right? And it only happens on it's Twitter. It happens the most, and
it's
because
true.
again the platform also then rewards stuff like that and all that. But you're really right about the intimacy thing. I think you did a great job just breaking it down. Going back, see guys, somebody, like a bunch of people are in a room or in an office together 9 to 5 for 1 year. What do you think is going to happen?
They're gonna smash.
No.
I mean they'll be connected intimately. That's what I mean.
You see this, Ayo? Do you understand? There's going to be a level of closeness, right?
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
lead to like sexual whatever.
Yes.
Some friendship.
ones.
Yeah.
Some friendship. I'm close to some of. Look at guys. We was
all work
share
together.
the same
Yes.
office, and we're recording podcasts, and we're friends for what for how many years now? I've known Ayo for like since when 2010. I've known Steve since like 2012 or something, and and we still have other friends. Look at this intimacy, like led us to create a WhatsApp
group where because Osagie was not
we
because
can't literally get.
Thank you.
We can't literally leave ourselves.
It's true.
I don't
It's true.
see me not talking in that group, talking to Dio or Nuru or Bayo.
It's true.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I just feel like, man, there's a connection there.
There's a connection. Yeah, it's true.
We created a group because I think I left and
Bro, that's why I fuck so much with Forward's and Pixar article.
yeah.
Right? You can't, let me tell you, you can't build things with people you don't like. It's impossible. Like when I was reading the Forward article, I was just thinking about us a lot. Like, and that's why the friendship still remains today. No, in short, have you read the article?
Man, I still had a
read it.
conversation about it over the
Bro, I even
over
want
the
to like I've
weekend.
been wanting to call him. So is when you work with people, there's still people are close because you spend more time with them. You spend a lot of time with them, So there's nothing. She's saying that, oh, when I heard that I started cooking for my husband, it makes her human. It's a human reaction. It's a human response
Yeah.
that you love. It's like I don't understand how they started just mocking this girl. Oh, you think they can steal your husband with food? It's not. It's not that simple. It's not that linear. It's deeper than that. Let's be smarter than this now. This is 2024.
Please, let's
And
get our brains right.
this conversation about food and cooking, bro. People are doing stuff. People are trying to change the world. We've made so much noise about 2024 about what we want to achieve. Let's get to work. Let's leave this cooking thing now. I'm really tired. Good.
I don't agree for anybody.
Okay, for
Yeah,
you.
nobody wants grief. Every agenda must agenda this year.
Oh god. Yeah. I think it's a lovely breakdown. All right, so the question is, can you steal someone's husband with food? Let me tell you
I blame Nollywood
about
for this.
somebody.
It's Nollywood. that
All right,
did
all
it.
right.
Don't tell me about that person in Abuja. Don't tell me
Yeah,
about that.
that's the story I wanted to say.
Please say it.
I had a friend, right? I had a friend, when I was schooling, right? And his friend, he's like, she had like, I think there is a church member or so, she was also attending the same school, but she used to come and say hi to us. Pretty lady, don't know where she is now. I can't even remember her face, but she was a very nice girl. And she was telling us about, one of our aunties who stays in Abuja, who basically, takes people's husbands. That's what she does, right? And she does that by using food.
Cooking
Okay,
for
this
them.
is story, and she cooks very well. So she can, bump into you. I don't know how she does it. Your bank manager, or whatever. She might bump into you. Have an account
Conference.
there.
Yeah.
She can just send you like a meal. Oh, let me send you a meal. And the food. They say as she described to me, this lady described and said she cooks her beans for 4 hours.
So the thing goes soft.
She cooks like
It goes
she's a really
soft.
so she can send food ahead, right? And you love it, and then she says, "Oh, that's fine. I can send you some, from time to time." Then she invites you over to that she's making a meal, and if you have
Yeah.
some time, maybe you
The
close from
the
work,
gas starts breaking down. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and as Abuja be now, I feel close for 5:04. I don't do your house,
One
no
time.
traffic.
It makes fornication
Yeah,
fast.
shout out to my Abuja people, So from there, gives you food, then gives you something else, and
And then this sets
You know?
everywhere is set to.
so I understand that there are these triggers where men
Yeah.
really like food.
Yeah.
Like we like food. Do you understand? And we'll take food from everybody. With genuinely, right? And that might lead. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing around. Can they use food to steal? If you're an indisciplined person,
Yeah.
if you're a randy, indisciplined human being,
If you are he goat,
it is not food they can use.
can
They can
steal
use anything to
anything.
take.
they can use
It's not
anything.
food.
They can use
You're just
football.
a-
They can use
you're-
anything.
You understand? You're just an indisciplined goat.
You are just an indisciplined person. You know.
You understand? So I don't think the emphasis should be on a woman is there and cooked food, and the woman wants to use food to
Yeah.
collect your husband. Like, look at your husband and say, "Guy, are you okay? Fam, I can eat with 1 million people.
Yeah.
You want to use food to come and collect? They say I should
Exactly.
not
It's not
start
that
dating.
deep.
Yeah, into the dynamics of cheating, like, the man will end up spending the whole money. I'm not ready to spend
Exactly.
1 naira. I'm sorry, I'm not available.
If you like, cook from now. Cook from now to
I
Jericho.
go chop the food they go
Go
my
chop
house.
down like
Let me tell you what I used to do when I was in uni, right? I used cooking wasn't one of like the things I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I used to cook. I'll buy pepper fish, blend the pepper, blah blah blah. I can eat rice throughout that week or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I like variety, and variety is the spice of life. So I had about 8 to 9 girlfriends. Not girlfriends I was dating, but
Yeah, just
friends that
friend,
were
yeah.
girls, right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the superpower of every young man to every young woman there is just be a great listener.
That's all. Just come
So
listen and
I
eat
closed from
food.
school, right? I'm back from school. These uni days. Is that I'm changing? If I'm not changing, I'm picking up my Nokia phone and I'm calling so person. What's up now? How are you? Where are you? Are you? You know, they're usually single, or if they were
Yeah.
dating, the boyfriends
Yeah.
liked me. I was harmless
Yeah.
as fuck, right? They knew. So I'll go head off there and I'll just be a great listener. They'll tell me about their lecturer, their friends, who's toasting them. They create a good meal. Could be indomie and fish. It could be rice and whatever. I
What
was
time?
always just there for them. So I had like a whole damn timetable roster thing going on. I'm telling you, every single day I was at someone's house eating. I spend a few hours there, eat, I'm back. I'm,
Go
overnight.
home.
That's when I actually study. So,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. So are you going to tell me I should now stop all of that? Because I mean, now things have changed, right?
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
this cooking thing, this eating thing.
The thing
Just
is
have
too
money in your
much.
pockets. Just
That's
have money in
all.
your pocket.
Prices change. That's
You
it.
understand? I ordered Chinese
Prices
the other day.
change.
Just have
Prices
money in your
change.
pocket. Just hey,
Prices
I want
change.
to eat this. So please, my
Prices
young
change.
men listening to this, hustle hard. No grief for anybody. Make
No
your
good for
money,
anybody. Yeah.
right? So that you can take care of your family,
That's it, man.
take care of
That's
your
it, man.
wife, take care of your kids. And
Yep.
I don't see this conversation. This conversation is circling around some set of
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's true.
Please let's uplift ourselves.
Let's uplift ourselves. Let's do better now.
And the
Let's
discussions that we're going to have on Twitter should be better, I beg. Not
better.
food again, I beg.
Let's do
It's,
better.
it's going to happen next week. It's
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It's going to happen next week again.
going to happen next week. All right, man. That was a
But
good
what
one.
I want to say is that
Yeah.
I think now that you've seen that, especially the woke side of the divide, right? You've seen
Mm-hmm.
that being extremely vile, loud
Yeah.
is not helping because the other people, I think they are louder now.
Yeah. Oh,
what's
allow
the-
that
Yeah,
now.
for the
What
actual.
do you think is the next approach? It's not just in Nigeria, it's everywhere.
No, everybody's sitting back now. No, everybody's sitting
Yeah.
back
So
now.
what do you think is the next approach? Because what got them to where they were was that they were really vile. They were like the loudest. They were like really, really, very, very insistent on what they wanted to talk about. Like they went after people, went after your
Yeah.
job. Like, bro, guy, these people were hard.
Yeah.
So now that the thing is we see that it's no longer working now. What do you think is the next strategy? Because there's a good cost to it, to being woke in quotes, right? Because you see, I'm not talking about the extreme. People will be extreme, right? What do you think should be the next tactics?
I don't know. What do you think?
Because
I have no idea.
clearly-
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
confused. I've been thinking about
It's
it,
not working now because everybody don't carry that gun and everybody's shooting now. So
bro. Nobody dey agree again. Oh. Nobody dey agree.
Man, ground.
you want to cancel somebody, they say cancel who? Who do you want to cancel?
Cancel who? So yeah, I don't know, man. It's just something I was thinking about. Like, what's the next strategy?
Maybe it's
I
to
don't
come
know, I
and
think
finally
I-
discuss with the other side of the spectrum.
Do you notice that Dave Chappelle in training? They are tired. People are tired.
No, he trended there, but people don't say. He was
He
about
still attack them. He
Yeah.
still attack them. Was gave them shots. Even it was even before. It was before the joke that he gave to the disabled. They were easy to cancel him.
Yeah, but nobody cares
I
now.
didn't see anything. Peace. I didn't see any. People are fatigued. People don't.
But
like,
who will
I
cancel?
think the woke cancel culture, the woke thing has it has died
it has
down.
reached
a
this.
bit.
It has reached this peak. Yeah.
It peaked and died down.
It's not even
Um,
it's not even a laughing joke. Like it's not like like you bought of like a comedy skit or something. Because
Yeah.
people just laugh about it. That you want to come. It's not anything serious anymore.
It's true.
Yeah, I think for Dave Chappelle as well. I think when they had the last protest and Netflix refused to take down the.
I think that's yeah.
I think
Netflix staff.
yeah.
Netflix staff protested.
Even
They walked
Netflix
out.
staff
They walked out.
Yeah.
The ones who were pro-trans. They walked out of the office in protest.
Yeah.
And I like what
Yeah.
CEO
And
did. He said, if you don't like it,
Yeah.
quit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Capitalism is
Yeah.
better than wokeness. I need a job, please.
See, when the white guy saw, hey, I think this thing is getting out of hand, it's touching our capitalism. Hey,
Exactly. Yeah. It's true.
hey,
It's true.
So you
That's true.
can't the capitalism rules, oh,
At the end of the
you know,
day,
Yeah,
and even in Nigeria as well, right? To cancel somebody now is going to be very difficult because the people who hold the power of conversations on Twitter are not from a certain
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
group or
yeah,
class,
yeah.
right? And they know they agree for anybody.
They didn't agree
no,
for
So
so
anybody.
I've
fire
seen on
for
this
fire.
Twitter, right, two individuals coming on and are going at each other, or two other ideologies, or two individuals, and one is wrong, and by tomorrow, one is wrong and one is right. So, said so on Twitter, right? And somebody's winning the fight, so to say. Tomorrow, things can just change,
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, this other person is now winning the fight. I've seen it
I
happen.
agree.
There was one that happened recently. Now, yeah, it was the Emeka Ike one, right?
Yeah,
Emeka
which
Yeah,
Ike
one?
came
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
The
Make
wife
it came
comes
out with
out.
his own narrative.
And the
Yeah,
wife
that's
comes out
true.
and boom, everything is like,
Everything
okay, fuck Emeka
switched.
Ike, cancel this guy. But
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
what? After a few
yeah.
days, Team
He back
Emeka
came back.
Ike is back
Yeah, yeah,
again,
yeah. They started talking about
headstrong.
the
And I'm like,
kid. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
what's
true.
going on?
Yeah,
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 Emeka Ike
because
came back with a last minute punch,
when Daddy
and he's back
Freeze,
in the fight.
when Daddy Freeze bought out his own video, I was like, yeah, okay, welcome back.
You get.
yeah.
So it's how you control the narrative. And
That's true.
like Charlemagne says, nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining.
Def.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's discuss music. I know we did not, do a review of 2023 in music in the last episode, so I think it's best to do it now. 2023 was very interesting year for music. Grammy nominated artists. I think Afrobeat took it to yet another level again.
Yeah,
Concerts, etc., etc. In all of that, if you could summarize all of that into what your picks were in terms of albums for 2023, what would be your? I'll give everybody five. You can name your five best albums. Should you do
5K.
five or three? Let's
Let's
do
do
three.
three, I beg.
Your three best albums of 2023. Nigeria. We can do Nigeria first, then we can do,
I beg, we don't listen to
globally.
We don't listen to Yankees. Only Nigeria we listen to.
Yeah, we know you are pro Afrobeats.
I'm
Me,
pro
I'm still listening
Afrobeats.
to I'm still listening to outside Nigeria. But yeah, okay, let's do Nigeria. What were your best three albums of 2023?
Um,
Let me check my
for me, obviously, Davido takes the first one.
Of
Surprise
course.
everybody. He surprised everybody that by getting album of the year. It's culturally accepted that he has the album of the year, and he did very well. I think Ashake comes.
That cultural accepted. Is it not an agenda? Is it not an agenda?
There's no agenda, Oga. Hold the microphone well, please.
No,
Um,
Allah.
yeah. After collecting Glenn, you're saying you're tackling me again. Don't worry.
Oh,
Uh,
that's true. That's true. I'm sorry. This is the best. It's
number
the number one album actually.
number two is for me is Ashake, and I like the fact that it was towards the end of the year that people started saying, "Oh, okay, this album is good." They started listening to the deep cuts on the album. Now I was saying that look, the reason why I didn't get that instant impact was you guys were still high off the last album, and you
Hmm.
guys, didn't want to let go. So definitely, my second choice was definitely Ashake's album. Fantastic body of work also from him and his producer. Number three is a left pick from me. He's a guy who released an album but decided not to market it for reasons best known to him. He's sort of a frustrating artist, so to speak. But
Who is this person?
Techno dropped a wonderful body of work. He just
Alaji Tekino.
he just refused to promote it in a way that befits his status as one of the best singers we have in our generation. I think those are the
Wow.
top three albums for Misha. Yeah.
That's a good list. That's a good list. So Techno, what's the name of Techno's album?
He's so bad. I can't remember the name because he's not in popular culture like that. Hold
Okay,
on.
let me check it for you.
No, I'm
That's
checking
not
it
Old
out.
Romance. That's the new album, right?
God forbid, it can't be old now. So it's the more the better.
Oh, the more the better. I saw this
Yeah.
around. I didn't listen to this album.
Oh, you have to listen to it. You have to listen
Okay,
to it.
I'll
A shout out
definitely
to
check it out.
Odumodu's mixtape. It's not an album. It's Yoku.
It's
I think it's an
Yoku.
album, Joe.
Yeah, it's an album.
It's an
sha,
album.
but Of course, when Head comes, it's going to be on an album category. Lovely body of work from him. Another shout out to Charlie Poppy. A lot of people say no, it's the same beat, it's repeating. But bro, now he hot for streets now. So yeah, shout out to those two albums.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Steve, what about you?
Um, albums that I enjoyed very well. Let me give it to let me give it to Timeless. Coming back. That was a good comeback. Like 4 or 5 hits from the album. Ezioku is now like my last minute entry. I just started bumping. I started bumping Modu Modu, like let me just say like in early December or like late November. Like I'm just like my less than 2 months into Modu Modu like heavily, and I see what he's trying to do. I see it. I get it. The third one, I would say sincerely, that's this guy's album. Um, I like him. I like him a lot. That's a who Buju
Benson.
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 Sincerely
I
Benson.
like him a
Sincerely.
lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flaw with the album, but I just like him. I like his songwriting style. I like the way he sings. So I listen to him a lot. So I'll just say, although and Burna Boy is among my most listened to in my rap. So I like Burna Boy's album too. Big Seven is my jam. Sitting on top of the world. On top of the world is my. I love that record a lot. Cheating on Me is my jam. So I enjoy the album. So I would say, okay, I'll say Davido, Odumodu, and Burna Boy. Those are my three.
Cool, cool.
Yeah,
For me, it's top three, right? I have more than three, but to put this into three
yeah,
is a
I'm
bit
more
difficult.
into it.
But yeah, Burna Boys, I told them I like the album. I really enjoyed the
Love it.
album. It
I
had,
love it.
like a hip hop feel to it. I think I
Yeah.
love albums like that. You know, Big Seven, they play City Boys. I actually like these two records more, Normal and On Form. It be
Okay.
normal, normal. Burna makes those Nigerian records, or
Mm,
I'm on form. And those songs when turned into singles. That's even the painful part. But like they're really
yeah.
good, Afrobeat records, and they had some Afro, some really good stuff to it. So I really enjoyed the album. I told them Burna Boy. I also like the whole concept behind it, the
Everything. The
magazine, the
rollout.
Yeah, the
creative
Yeah.
rollout wasn't
approach.
bad. It was actually dope.
Yeah, I love that. AQ's God's Engineering 2, a beautiful follow up
Yeah,
to God's
that's
Engineering
still
1, production, rap, everything. I know I'm also connected to the album in certain ways, but I actually did enjoy the album and I still bump it till now. The third album is Lady Donley's Pan African Rock Star.
Oh,
Now,
that was a nice one. Yeah.
very anticipated. I heard it and I like Lady Donley. I love her because she has been able to stick to the kind of music she wants to create, and she's been trying to discover this perfect sound. This sound that she's perfected on Pan African Rockstar. She's been discovering it and has been fine tuning it over the course of the last few years. And I think she finally, fine tuned it and then delivered on this album. There are some songs here that are really like Pan African Rockstar itself, Jazz Up. I like the message she put in Streets. I like Come See Come Sa. When my ability first dropped, I didn't really,
It sounded weird.
fancy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but right now, listening to it within this album, she delivered it well. So shout out to Zainab for giving us such an amazing album. I love her so much, and I wish her the very best. Those are my top three. So one Afrobeats album, one hip hop album, cause got to do it for hip hop, and of course something alternative from Lady Donley. For albums I listen to outside Nigeria, Doja Cat's Scarlet
Dope
is
album.
definitely is
Dope.
definitely high up there. I
Yeah.
bumped the hell out of that album. I think that album is one of the best albums. Sorry, the Shei Vibes that Kingdom Come dropped this year.
Yes. We dropped two this year.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. That album, it dropped in June. I'm sorry, I had to do a top four. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I had to do a top four. Now that's an album, right? Shout out to Shea Vibes. Let me just add that in there. Sorry, guys. So there's that. We're still looking for albums. Killer Mike's Michael is an album I also listen to very much.
Potentially
Um,
Grammy rap album of the year.
yeah, potentially. Then Annie, I don't know if you guys know Annie. She's a UK rapper. She also dropped like an EP called "We Go Again."
No, I don't
So you
know.
should, you know, and charge it to the game like that.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah, yeah, charge it. That's the name of the song. So she has, and she did the record "No Niger Man." She did charge it. She's also a fantastic artist, and I think she like um kind of scaled up her kind of music beyond just rapping. She did a lot of singing on this album as well. So shout out to her. Then of course, my darling sweetheart, Cleo Soul.
Mm.
Cleo Soul. I don't know if you guys rock with Cleo
I
Soul,
know close on.
but Cleo Soul dropped two projects in 2023. The first is called Heaven. Heaven is amazing. And then she followed up right in September with Gold. If you don't listen to Cleo Soul, I suggest you do. This is the kind of music you can play when you are working, the kind of music you can play when you're chilling in the background. It's not background musical because her writing is impeccable. Like her writing touches you,
Yeah.
you know. And if it touches me like that, and she sings mostly for, like, her music is amazing. So she's got like a couple of albums, so you can check it. Roses in the Dark, Heaven, Mother is, I think, my best. Close. It used to be my best until she dropped Gold, and boom. So Cleo Soul, so much good music, man, coming out from 2023. I was very, very, very impressed with the kind of music that dropped. Did I mention Odumodu Black Yozoku? I know you guys mentioned it as well. I
Mm-hmm.
think for like a hip hop album, just giving us that feel.
Yeah.
Um, I totally enjoyed it. Then of course, and I know this is a 2021 album, but it's an album I bumped like mad in 2023. Most especially because the deluxe came out in 2023. Alone at Prom, Tory Lanez. Alone at Prom, Tory Lanez. What an album. Guys, if you haven't heard this album, dropped in 2021, but the deluxe dropped in 2023. So it's a disc one and disc two. So the 2021 album is in the 2023 album. Tory Lanez is out of this world. I know I went on a whole freaking rant in the group chat and nobody replied me.
Literally, is out
You
of
know,
this
when I
world. Literally, is out of this world.
when I was talking about Tory Lanez, but like, guys, you need to listen to this album. This guy, yes, Tory Lanez is one of one. So you guys should also listen to that. Then yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
what is one album? Let me ask you guys, what is one album you brought back? Like one throwback album you guys
Ah,
brought back
well, man, I get plenty.
that you rediscovered in 2023?
Let me look at that.
Caesar control.
I have a bunch.
Caesar
Hold on.
Control. Nice.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on,
I did
please.
it last.
Hold on.
I did
I
it so
could
much last
be
year.
your super.
Westernized West Africa and Mojid.
Westernized West Africa. Oh, that's Mojid.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a good one. Mine was Nusa Open Doors,
Oh,
which turns 10. I go always pray for you.
that was a nice album.
Yeah. Why you
Yeah, Open
love me
Doors.
so?
Open doors. That's true.
You're always on my mind. Remember? Yeah. So I play this album in the morning when I'm getting kids ready for school. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And that's it. That's it.
I think for my foreign albums, Scary Hours for all the dogs edition was an album I bumped to. I think Drake going back to just that whole soul sample, let me rap, let me blow my mind. That's him really in form. And I think I'm happy that the pressure he got made him go back and just drop something for
and do that.
Yeah. My second album is not politically
Shout out
correct.
to Conductor Williams.
Yeah,
Shout out to Conductor Williams.
My second album is not politically correct, but since Osagie already put Tory Lanez, fuck it.
Wait, R. Kelly didn't drop an album now. Who's that?
No, it was another person that is almost on the same level. Not almost on the same level, but Pop Daddy's
alleged.
Pop Daddy's R&B album, it was actually dope for me. Yeah.
I heard that album. I didn't see the hype you and wasn't it you and Dio?
I think your spiritual, your subconscious already knew what was coming, so you didn't just sing the album.
It was I and I, I enjoyed
I
that.
heard the album. I'm like, why?
That was Love Jam.
That album was climbing. That album was climbing. But Cassie said no, my watch. So
before Cassie, the hype don't go.
Yeah. Now they just they dropped a video like 2 weeks before that whole thing happened. Now.
The jam with Anna Taylor, I don't understand what he was doing.
No, that's grown and sexy. Yeah.
I beg. Okay. All right. I know we didn't talk about recaps in. So there was a 2022 album that dropped in December. So even if we had done a recap, we probably wouldn't have mentioned this. But Moon Knight dropped an album in 2022 called Popcorn, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, 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 as in, so he had been doing Popcorn the podcast. If you don't know, Moon Knight has a podcast called Popcorn. I think there are about 8 or 9 episodes. You can check it out. Then he did the album version of the podcast. It's amazing. Shout out to Mudnai, still releasing music. You can get all his music on Bandcamp, bandcamp.com. He has like all his albums. I think his discography is now hitting about 28 catalog. In his catalog
Damn.
has like 28 different projects. Yeah, so I think he's the Nigerian artist with the most released um projects. And yeah, 28 or something. It's one ridiculous
Nigerian
amount
rapper,
actually.
Abi.
Nigerian rapper, yeah.
Yeah, because Nigerian artist, I don't think he will be the number one.
Yeah, his full discography is 30 projects.
Yeah, Nigerian rapper easily he gets it. Yeah.
Beyond Fuji artists, who else? Because it's the Fuji artists that are doing 30 plus.
There's High Life, there's still Fela, there's still
Oh, of
yeah.
course.
So
Now
all
we're
those
talking about
guys.
from 1990 now.
Oh, from
Now, how you?
1999, obviously he takes the cake now, but 30, that's Sonny Ade in 3 years. That's what Sonny Ade
Yeah,
drops in
yeah,
three
I know. I'm
years.
not. I'm definitely not
Yeah,
comparing
yeah,
it to
yeah. I
like
get
that.
from
I'm
99.
doing
Yeah, from our
yeah
era,
from 19.
obviously. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 30 projects is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And he still dropped the projects this year, I believe. The
Mm.
Orisuna experiment, I think, is this year. Yeah. So, yeah, I liked our music conversation today.
Yeah, it's dope. We should have more.
Yeah, we will. We will. All right. So let's kick it off. We have a new segment, guys. We're trying to be more formal in 2024, right? So we had a whole pre-production meeting. Guys, can we be having pre-production meeting
I doubt.
every?
I doubt. I doubt. Let's not. Let's not. Let's not. Yes. Let's not sign up to that. I beg.
Oh my goodness! I was like, I can't deal. We have a new segment called Life in Diaspora. Say it with me, guys.
Life in
Life
diaspora.
in Diaspora. Steve, you're not. Are you tired? What's wrong with Steve?
I'm here now.
I said, say it with me. Let's do it together as a group.
Oh, okay,
Life
okay.
in Diaspora.
I'm
Life
going to talk
in
with him.
diaspora.
Okay, sorry. Life in
Thank you very
diaspora.
much, Aaron. Thank you very much. I
Oh, wow.
appreciate you.
Life in diaspora.
Get out. Anyways, we have our first entry here. Hi, Steve, AOT2 and Osags. Taking shots at IJGB seems to be a constant spot on many podcasts in December. Now, Jakpa with Jakpa, we no kill person. No. I've been away from Nigeria for close to a decade, America to be precise, and I must say it's been a little too long. Getting papers wasn't an easy task. When you travel abroad, you really do change. For example, I found out that I now really keep to time. Nigerians follow African time, typically commencing everything 2 to 4 hours late. I've learned to be patient, although it can be a bit irritating when someone says they're in Yaba and I haven't even gotten out of bed yet. This is one of the best things I could say I have learned living in the West, keeping to time for appointments. There are numerous positives about Nigeria, especially Lagos. Doctors are Doctors here are more holistic and attentive to concerns compared to those in America. Shout out to all the Nigerian doctors preparing for licensing exams and subsequently relocating for a better life. No time, please. 2. Lagos offers a variety of food options, especially on the island if you can afford them. 3. Nightclubs here close around 5 a.m. or even later, surpassing clubs in Europe like Ibiza. Also, club fights are rare in most Lagos clubs, which is a plus. The food kitchen at clubs never closes, unlike their counterparts in the US. 4. It was challenging to go unnoticed. Regardless of my actions or attire, people somehow knew I lived abroad. Even when I spoke pidgin English, the attempt to reply in proper Queen's English. I've become more polite since living abroad, which is a dead giveaway, e.g., the yes please and could you please, etc. Unfortunately, some Nigerians are involved in scams, tarnishing the country's reputation While I won't mention any specific tribe, stereotypes exist for a reason, and this particular tribe needs to improve.
Wow, gunshot.
Contrarily, the majority of Nigerians are hardworking, striving to make ends meet in a tough economy. Special shout out to all Nigerians living honestly and taking care of their families. 7. Money will take you far in Lagos, but connections will take you to your destination.
Mm.
8. Tipping isn't a common practice, but it is advisable. Those you tip might be the ones to offer help when you need it, as they feel obliged due to your generosity. Tipping is the currency for trading goodwill in Lagos. 9. Nigerians often flaunt their IJGB friends or family to improve their status or reputation. At times, I felt like a golden fish in a glass tank or a party princess. 10. The island and mainland of Lagos should be considered separate cities. Lagosians waste too much time in traffic moving between the two. The state government needs to address this.
I agree.
Bonus point: Murtala Mohammed Airport is still horrendous and inefficient due solely to large-scale corruption among airport officials, allegedly. Addendum to the 10th crack commandments. Commandment 11. Always keep them guessing. They shouldn't predict your next move so you can be the architect of your own plan. Utilize well thought out erratic behavior to your advantage. It is important to highlight the positives in Niger. No need to dwell on the negatives that we all already know. Peace and love in 2024. That was from Mr. Fantastic, who's
Shout out to you, Mr.
regular
Fantastic.
a regular writer
I like his
to
POV.
yeah.
About Lagos. We can all say all the bad things about Lagos, but at the end of the day, these people come back in December and swear that more they don't want to go back. So yeah, shout out to you for that email.
Yeah, shout out to you. And guys, if you have like any stories about living in diaspora, because we have a huge diaspora audience, right? Please write to us. It's still the same thing. It's family@loosetalkgiants.com. But in the subject, you have to put the word life or the phrase life in diaspora is very, very important. Then you can, extend the subject into whatever you want. But please put the phrase life in diaspora so we know you're specifically speaking about that. Okay, it's time for fan mail. Who's excited?
Oh yeah, yeah. Shoot.
Let's see all the crazy people who've been talking to us.
I
Get
am.
out, get out.
Okay.
All right, fan mail. Nonya the ghosted intern. Remember
Woo.
Nonya the ghosted intern who told us about how she was ghosted by her boss
Crazy
who
story.
hadn't paid her salary for 2 months. And then she reached out to us. And somebody also reached out to us saying he wanted to pay for the time she spent at the company without being paid. So that happened. We also shared her account details on the podcast. So she's writing back to us and she says, "Hello, Osags, AOT2, and Steve. Happy New Year to you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful start to the year because I am, and that is because of you guys and the Loose Talk community. I'm writing to say a big thank you to you guys and the listeners who sent me money. God bless you guys, replenish your pockets, and crown all your efforts this year with the most amazing of successes." This prayer is very thick because I feel that the
The bar.
the
You way.
the amount the credit alerts that came in. Oh yeah, are you trying to tell us something? Well, shout out to you. I hope you received something. How would the pastor say? Bountiful.
Mm-hmm.
I am at loss for words for real. I didn't want to keep going to Osagie's DM every time I get an alert with a loose talk giant as the description and disturbing his notifications. So I'm writing here to thank everyone. I am deeply grateful. Wow. Shout out to the loose talk community.
Thank you guys
These
for coming
giants,
through.
they're real giants. And giants
That is
take care of
dope. That
giants.
is dope. That is dope. That is dope.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. We have our own Debbie here, our own Mumsy in our own community. I'm just joking, guys. But yeah, no, yeah. I hope you had. That's fantastic, and that's why you guys just see, reach out, ask for help, always reach out, put it out there. You never know if the universe is listening or not. But shout out to you and shout out to every giant that sent something to Nonya the ghosted in. Should we still call her the ghosted intern? She's still the ghosted intern.
No, it's no longer the ghosted intern again.
She's no more the ghosted intern.
Yeah, all things have passed
Nonya
away.
can move on. And 2024 is new.
Yeah,
All right. Okay. Have a wonderful, fruitful, and prosperous 2024. God bless you and your families. Thank you so much, Nonya, for writing
Thank
in.
you. Thank you.
This is from the. This is from I don't know who this is from. Anyways, hello, Giants, Osag, Steve, and EOT2. Do not keep me anonymous. After listening to your insightful episode on the mimicry of Hilda Bassi's feats, I noticed a broader trend. Mimicry in tech sparked by Paystack's 200 million sale in 2020. This might be a much bigger issue than I noticed before. I did not write this email only to complain about fintechs alone. Was there a mimicry? I don't think there was a mimicry. I think what was happening in 2020 happened globally, which was the rise. There was what they call it, an availability of VC funding or VC funds, right? And every Tom, Dick, and Harry thought they could create a startup. So it wasn't just peculiar to like Nigeria, because Paystack exited or sold the company to Stripe. I think this was happening globally. Startups were springing everywhere, and because there was you know money to fund these startups at the time, because there was like a lot of money in circulation. That happened, and I think reality hit everybody in late 2021 and 2022. And then we're seeing the effects of that in 2023 with companies selling to other companies shutting down, etc. etc. So I don't necessarily agree, but I kind of see where you're coming from. Anyways, the writer says your podcast was my anchor during my transition to university in 2018. As a devoted music fan, you have been my informal mentors, and I'd love to formalize that. Well, thank you very much. According to Spotify, I am a top 0.5% fan of this podcast. That is insane. You are
no,
a giant giant.
that's top
Um,
top elite.
Yeah, you're a giant giant. You're a giant giant. These are like, yeah, salute, salute, salute. Shout out to you. I'm part of a team that highlights African music samples on our page called Sample Chief.
Mm.
Now, if you guys don't know who Sample Chief is, this is one of the most important music curated pages on social media, right? That breaks down the anatomy of many Afrobeat songs or many songs, right? African songs. I'll break it down like that. And what they do is simply they discover the sample where the song originated from, and then they do the interpolation, and it's always amazing. And they started off, with like very basic videos to the point where they now have people in the videos, describing what it is with very nice graphics and all that. So I'm a very big fan of Sample Chief. We've had connections and conversations in the DM. I don't really have time because they asked me about some things, to get them some info and all that, and I really don't have the time. So I'm sorry if I've not responded. But yeah, Sample Chief started in 2018 and has built a good community online and offline. You might have come across our videos in the past. Definitely, we're building a new arm called Lyric Chief. The goal of Lyric Chief is to preserve Nigerian music's cultural roots by giving new and old Afrobeat fans a repository of lyrics, translations, and backstories to help them connect better with the music. As our genre continues to grow, I believe if we do not push the culture behind the music, then the music will not be sustained in the global sonic landscape. I agree. So think about all the times you've gone on genius.com to read about backstories behind your favorite hip hop records. Lyric Shift will transport the kids from Brooklyn to Lagos. I truly appreciate your feedback on the first iteration of the site, www.lyricshift.com. We'll be releasing lyric based content on our Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok accounts, lyric underscore chief, in the near future. Your insights and resources will be invaluable. Like Osag says, the content is African, but the market is the diaspora. I would love to take that quote, but it's not mine. I have to attribute that quote to Eche of Afropolitan. Shout out to Eche. Do you guys like follow Sample Chief?
I've had an
I
interview
think
with
I know
them.
some Gucci, but I don't follow. I don't
I've,
follow them.
we've done
Like,
an interview together, so I know them very well.
Oh, really? You interviewed them or they interviewed
They
you?
interviewed me. Yeah.
Hey, LT2. You know, can't tell us. Ah, you know,
That one,
ah.
that was like maybe 2 years ago. Yeah. So I know them. They
I'm
do
really
important
tired
work
this year.
actually. So yeah.
Yeah, they do a very important work. Like very, very important work. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. All right, let's read two more fan mails and we're out of here. This is appreciation. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights on various topics. Your perspectives have helped me stay informed and broaden my horizons, making me more confident and cool in conversations. I also listen to Jola and FK and love Jola. At a friend's party, 5 out of 10 men and their wives had a crush on her. It's funny that she's single, yet several married men in Texas adore her. This person then goes ahead to, call us out and say we should be doing better in terms of like growing the podcast and all that. Hey, we take your feedback and we really appreciate it. But I move past that into the other part of your email. It says Show Them Camp is a group that creates many incredible, engaging, and valuable art pieces. However, they generate less revenue, speculating here, and media recognition. And I do not remember you guys discussing their music. I was wondering what you think could be responsible for this. This might be one of the reasons why Osags considers MI's illegal music to be better than SDC's Clone Wars. Currently, I'm listening to Do Me Nice by SDC and Benson, and I'm enjoying the song and many of their other songs. However, I always have to go seek their music, and I don't randomly come across it in a social space. Hmm,
mm,
that's a very good point. That's a very good point. We don't talk
illegal
about
music is
SDC here.
better though. Oh, okay, but that's a very good point. That's a very good
It's a
point.
very good point because
I'm just joking.
the
I, I don't know, man. I think it just comes with. I don't know. Sometimes it comes with the brand where, like, some certain artists or popular figures are not like just loud. Like, nothing about them is loud. Not the music, not the branding, not the like. It's just.
Mhm.
I think it's part of the brand. That's should I say exclusivity? I don't know. You have a very important. You've made a very important point, though.
They have.
Student camp is not part of a larger conversation that it should be in.
I think ultimately Show Them Camp is a niche group, but a very big niche group. You understand what I mean? Like they're a very big niche group, but they are ultimately a niche group. I think they are mainstream, not they are B-list artists. If I want to describe Show Them Camp, I'll describe them as B-list artists. And in terms of like making money, I think they've made some really good money. They've been on tour for 2022 and 2023, and they ended it with a very big show in Lagos as well. When they do their shows in Lagos, you have thousands of people attend their shows. So I think what we're seeing here is not the conversations that go on social media where people say, "Oh my God, Show Them Camp," blah blah blah. And I think ultimately it's because they're also hip hop artists, and hip hop might not be the biggest genre, in Nigeria. But in terms of media recognition, I understand what you are saying. When people talk about MI, Ice Prince, etc., etc., do they really mention Show Them Camp? Maybe it's because they're a group and they're not one person, and we're in such an individualized state right now in Nigeria, or in the world, where if you are one person, it's easy for people to just discuss you, talk about you, blah blah blah. I don't know, but you make an interesting point. But yeah, we don't even talk about them that much here as well. Even though I listen to their music very well or very much. So yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point for us to think about. Okay, so the email continues. Holy Moral Police. They've upgraded your name from Holy Police to Holy Moral Police. He
Now
said,
wow.
Holy Moral Police, lead researcher, Steve Dede one.
Hmm.
I hail you. Have you considered doing a verse on Magneto's song Canada? Since you haven't been to Canada, just jump on the song and use it to hold body.
Now wow.
Oh, thank you for your time, and I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and avoiding burnout. Me, I'm avoiding that burnout though. I don't think I was burnt out. I think in 2022, and I had a break, so I was happy to. I was lucky to have a break during that
I
period.
always think about that your break. Osagie will just call me in the morning. So I'm taking a walk.
Oh
When I
my
get
god!
home, when I get home, I watch Netflix.
On
And
some
me, I'll just be
Englishman
on
levels.
maybe. You don't understand?
Me, I dey look data. I dey look data. Why data they drop? That's what they do. They walk around the house.
Osagie was so funny that
Bro.
time.
Yeah, I think the good part of the break is. See, let me tell you something. The good part of the break is, I won't lie to you. You can only enjoy that break when you have money. I'm
Of
sorry,
course, no have money now.
because
Hunger
you
go
know you
catch
don't
you.
have like you don't have like a 9 to 5 and you're not freaking out.
Yeah. You're not
You know,
paranoid.
there's
Yeah,
and see, I'm telling you, it was I don't know how to explain it, but the feeling was good in a way
yeah,
where I wasn't panicking because I was
yeah,
okay. Like, and I've
yeah,
never experienced that before.
yeah.
But like, hey man, like 1 month later,
Just
Welcome
in
back.
the grind.
Welcome back. Welcome
one
back.
month later, I started doing consulting work. And no, it wasn't even
Yeah,
consulting work I started doing, and I was being paid like I was working 9 to 5,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
which was good. Which was good because I wasn't going to work. Oh God! All right, so the last mail is about Eriga. I think Eriga New Money moved his name from Eriga New Money to Eriga, right? Shout out to
Yeah,
Eriga.
Mm-hmm.
Hello to the fantastic trio. Great job with the pod. I've been an off and on listener, but one of my New Year resolutions is to be a more avid listener going forward. That's the spirit. No grief for them. I moved to the UK a few years ago and I put some British Nigerian friends onto Eriga's music and they are intrigued by his stories, pen game, and rap style.
Here we
Eriga is one
go.
of one, baby.
One of one.
But they are surprised that he's not as big as abroad or even in Nigeria. So I'm curious into what you think of his music, his recent body of work, and what he could have done differently comparing to him to Odumodu, whom he even featured on his album before Declan Rice and is
yeah,
now glowing global. Thank you and closing shout out to my Agbo brother Steve.
yeah. Let's go.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what they do for Agbo. If you not heal yourself, hey, let's go. Give him Maga.
I don't heal on now. I don't heal on. Oh my god. Here we go. Listen, bro. Odumodu is signed to Def Jam.
That's all.
I,
That's
I,
all.
I think it's
Odumodu has native records backing him, brother, and I'm only the talk.
yeah.
So shout out to Odumodu. But that's just some context to what's happening.
Also, I think
Yeah, I mean, it's quite simple now. It's
yeah.
like when 50 came and he had M and
Yeah,
Dre behind him.
yeah,
What do you expect?
Also, also,
Yeah,
I think that some rappers will always be like local legends, right? The E40s, the Bombies, and the rest of them. It's not everybody that's going to go number one, go to the highest level of pop culture or mainstream. I think Eriga has a lovely skill set that makes him very, very relatable, and he gets a lot of credibility. He also lacks some certain skill sets that will take him to the next level of pop culture dominance. And we've spoken about this even on the last version of Loose Talk. So yeah, it's just the way it is at the end of the day. There are rappers like Scarface and those guys that will just be at the foundation and lay a foundation for the next guys to grow. And that's what we are seeing right now with rappers coming out from whether it's the southeast or the south. The rappers who have laid the foundation, whether it's Nigga Raw or those other guys, and new guys will come and just build on it at the end of the day. But every guy is doing well for himself.
yeah. For me, the only thing I want Erika to improve on is the quality of his production.
So the quality of production
Um,
and songwriting, that's all.
his quality of production, and I don't have a problem with songwriting. I feel that the production will be better because he has like good bars, better bars
So
than
when I mean
those
like songwriting, I mean like
memorable
construction
lines.
of
I know.
construction of hooks and
Yeah,
everything to catch people. Yeah.
yeah. True. Erika is the goat, man. I love him so
because for
much.
me, Erica has like everything. I like if you listen to the music, like I said, right? Some people will. I don't think the goal is, and I don't think that's how we should also consume music,
Yeah.
right?
Especially rap.
Where you see, yeah, oh, this person needs to be like number one. This person needs to be like we talked about Cleo Soul, right? Cleo Soul is not in the news. She's not making the media rounds. She's not doing all that. She's not number
She's
one,
very
but
mysterious
she's making
actually. Yeah.
amazing music. and she's making her music, right? I was looking at Origa's Spotify numbers, and he has 171,000 monthly listeners. I think, you know, just see, it can be more, but like it's 171,000 listeners every month, and his album, The Family Time from last year, was dope. The Lost Boy is what I even bumped more. I didn't listen to Family Time. I didn't listen to it once, but like The Lost Boy from 2022 was my album. I'll check Family Time again and I'll give you guys feedback. But shout out to Eriga, you know. And that's it, guys. We've come to the end of this episode of your favorite podcast.
Yeah.
We have a quote of the week.
We have a quote.
We have a quote of the week.
Oh.
We always have the same quote of the week. The quote of the week is the same quote of the week every week.
Which
The
is
quickest way to mediocrity is to try to make everyone happy all of the time.
oh shit.
Yeah. Shit.
All right, guys. We'll see you
Thank you guys
guys.
for listening. Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys on our episode.
Amen.
Ciao, ciao.
Peace out.